Hey, hey, Crystal. How y'all doing today? Thanks for liking the live and sharing the live out. Hey, Vanity. Hey, Island Girl, where you been at? How y'all doing today? Let me go wash my ass. What's going on the internet today? What kind of shit we seen out here today? You should be playing. You should be studying what? Crystal, what you supposed to be studying? Okay. You noticing differences? That's all you notice? How Yavi, Avi, whatever your name is. I don't know how to say it. Oh, Hacking. That sound like it might be fine. You might need a break. If you playing the game, that probably mean you need a break. You've been putting in hours. Not you stating everything but the obvious. That's crazy. Thank you, Monica. I'm gonna change this gift, y'all. Hold up. Cause I'm not gonna be on camera. So I need to take that one off. I don't feel like being on camera today. Okay, that's cute. Thank you for sharing the live out. Is it Draca or Drika? How you say it? How you say your name is? Thank y'all for liking the live. I appreciate the support. So the difference is, what he said was the features. Do y'all know any other differences? They both screaming. They both screaming. I know you screaming, but they both screaming. Um, any other differences we notice? Race. Oh my god. How did he miss that one? How did he miss that one? That's crazy. One's accepted, never not. Oh, we definitely about to have the victims up in here. Okay. One's accepted by who, sir? By who? Culture is different. Mm-hmm. Not you race blind. What race are you? Hey KGR. You don't know? You know they did I can't remember the name of the study. They did a study on blind people and found that even blind people see color. You lying. You're a liar. You got Alzheimer's. You probably do. But you also a liar. Not the eyes of God. Well, if I'm God and I see differences, I'm calling you a liar. They acting silly. That's what you see. That's just silliness. I mean, they probably are actors, but like that shit came from up in them. A height difference. Are you competitive? One takes accountability, the other points a finger. Who takes accountability? God is real. I just told you I'm fucking God. What you mean? Welcome to my fucking humble home. What you mean? There's nothing wrong with seeing a different race. He one of those I don't see color motherfuckers. Oh, thank you. I like that one. Live on air. Thank you, Monica. That's cute. Yeah, I'm still want to know who takes the accountability. Six followers. Come up here and tell us who take accountability. Enlighten us. They both do? What you mean? What you mean? Tell me what you mean. Y'all free to come up here and explain yourselves. Because I'm going to interpret your comment the way I want to interpret it. You can come explain yourself. They both do if they men. They do what? Which one they do? One's angry and one's afraid. Who's angry? Who's afraid? Y'all being too vague. Say who is what. If their man is crazy. Hey KGR. Hey Drika.
Hey, what? Well, why can't people do the same thing? They think the same, they talk the same, they act the same, they be showing out. Because why we both look here at the same time? But I ain't gonna say anything.
It's definitely
I
giving
say
me.
that. But hey everybody.
Hey. One's in a black room, one's in a white room.
Oh, I was just gonna say what the difference is. White men have actual power, but they don't want to have any responsibility. And black men have no power or limited power, and they also don't want to have responsibility. That's it. That's the difference. They're the same. Just one has actual power.
I don't know because when you say actual power, what you referring to?
Okay, white men have actual power in this world. They are the power structure. They are the creators of the power structure in Western society. They make the laws and the decisions that impact our lives. They created a lot of the issues that we have right now. But they also don't want to take any accountability for that. And they always try to distance themselves from their responsibility in that manner. Black men have no power in this society, not really. But they really want it. They want it so bad. They want to be those men. And so they're both are groups of men who are both very angry, very stupid, very entitled, but at the same time, they want to claim no accountability, no responsibility for everything.
Make a difference. Come up here and tell us what you see.
Oh, like, I don't know if you've heard this, so I was just scrolling. So, Myron, Timu, which one's the little one from Timon and Pumbaa?
Simone.
Yeah, Timon from Fresh and Fit. He goes into an all-white tea supremacist space on Twitter. And he's like, yeah, I'm when this goes through, we're going to really get this. And they're like, you do realize you have to leave if we win. He's like, no, because I helped you guys. And I'm one of you guys. And they're like, no, you're not. You're not one of us, and you will have to leave too. and the crash out of him begging for these white tea supremacists to like him, as he's done all their dirty work and he supported their cause and he thinks that he's entitled, and then he finds out, nah, you're just a tool. Again, people who do shit to try to get proximity have no power, and they're begging to be allowed to stay because he knows he wants to be their pet, but they're like, nah, you all gotta go. Sorry, I'm cleaning my kitchen.
You good? Hold on, Drika. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's true?
Some way, I'm really trying to like really unpack what she's saying, but I do think
Amen. Let me
that
see.
I do think that black men want to be like white men. They want to get away with things the way they perceive white men getting away with them. They want that power that they see. They want to be able to dominate, and they try to emulate it in many different ways. They subscribe to the system that of men that white men
I'm a
perpetuate
hard
like
time hearing
now.
you.
Oh shoot, it's loud. Give me a second, Tara. Give me a second. When I say a second, I mean give me a few minutes. I might need to drop and come back.
No, you good. I
Okay.
understood.
Okay.
So you get what I mean? Like, they want to be white tea so bad. They want that power, and they're trying to prove that they have some semblance of power by in their dominance of black women, like in their attempts to control black women, right? But they don't have any real power. White tea men have real power. They just want to control everybody, including the black men. But the black men, and the one guy who said one's scared, one's angry. Yeah, the black dude's scared, the white guy's angry.
So my question is, when it comes to power, what incentive do like YT men have to like want to give up power? If we say they have power,
There is none. That would, again, who would intentionally give up control? Who would give up privilege? Who would give up access? Who would give up, automatic, just legs up in society?
so
Who would?
do you think patriarchy doesn't harm YT men at all?
Oh, it harms them horribly. Have you met them? That's why they be pew-pew up schools. That's why they be, unaliving their entire families, because they're losing that control. That's why they have such a high rate of unalivement, of self-deletion. That's why they have such a high rate of alcoholism, addiction, DV.
So
That's why they're pedos. I mean, P3DOs. That's why they have such a high rate of that.
yeah. Don't forget the self unalignment and substance. But the thing is, like, if they have true power, right? They have all this power. Like, there's no point of getting it up or to like spread it around or whatever. Why they struggling so bad?
Because the problem is, it's not all white tea men. It's only some white tea men who are truly in power, right? But because they had to dangle the carrot on the stick to poor white tea men to get them to participate in this, all those poor white tea men are mad because they are supposed to have that privilege. They think that people having equity and seeing people thrive while they're struggling is taking away their power that they were told that they had. They don't like anything because they're supposed to have an automatic leg up. And because now that there's competition, now that their women are working and don't even want to be with them, now that, they don't have the carrot is gone from the stick and it's just a stick, they're mad. And they want to take back what little power they had before, even though they never really had it.
So Um,
Hey,
cause
make
you
a
said
difference. Why don't you come up and say that? Come on.
something
Come
wrong with
on
their
up.
account. They can't like request up, and then I can't invite them. I don't know what's wrong with their account. But no, Sarah, don't do that, Sarah. Um, I know that's how y'all daughter was come, but like, don't do that. Well, let him say what he gotta say. But here's my question, because like you said, all the issues that they have, uh, do wealthy YT men who hold real power, do they not have those issues? No, you could.
Self deletion, not as much. Addiction, yes. Abuse, yes. But theirs is because they can. And who's going to check them? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's a.
so
It's
here's my
not out of
thing.
despair, it's out of boredom.
So here's my thing. So if we're saying that wealthy YT men actually have real power, right? Why is it that they have real power and at the same time they have all these issues?
But what issues do they truly have, though?
That's why I was asking. Do
Well,
they also suffer from like depression? Do they also suffer from substance abuse problem?
I think that being because I think the patriarchy was constructed um, because men knew that women had the real power that I think you're talking about. Um, that's it's going to be a dilemma in that because if you have to confine yourself into a box, because that's the standard you made. If these few men at the top created this manual that men had to follow to be men, and they put themselves in that box too, and they don't really fit in it, regardless of the resources they have, they're still going to crash out because they don't. You cannot put a human being in restraints like that, and manhood put men in restraints. So you have rich men who believe, for example, a very like minute example is if men can't wear pink, right? And men can like ballet, they can't want to do ballet because that's not a real man. You would have a rich wealthy man who wants to wear pink and do ballet and can't, and then he crashes out. Whether that's being defiant with family, whether that's being defiant in school, whether that's constantly getting in trouble, getting DWIs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're still going to crash out. The crash out just looks different, and sometimes the
What you
consequences look
mean?
different, but the crash out is the same, if that makes sense.
Is it possible that because it's like my question is what is power and where did we get our definition of power from?
How is the ability
Right.
to control someone else's
Yeah,
life?
hold on,
Sorry.
let Drika respond.
My thing is it's created based on life. I think we talked about it with the womb envy because how much more powerful, quote unquote, can you be to be able to bring life in and to be able to um, have food that comes out of your body for that life that helps it grow and nourishes it and all those things. So I think power is that. Power is that. And if you think about it, the way they construct religion is based on creating life and being able to turn water into wine, being able to provide enough food for a village based on one piece of bread and fish, right? And one fish, right? Women are doing that. So I don't think that women called it power. I think women just were doing the thing. Like just it was natural, with no competition, it was no the women weren't trying to take over. It was just a reality. And men saw that and they felt inferior and they created this idea of power and they couldn't do it. They couldn't ever achieve that. They couldn't outdo that. So that's where I think it came from. And that's why we got religion and all these other systems. It's because of that.
Hey Liz.
Hey, I like this topic a lot.
You want to respond?
Oh, what is I don't to me, like, I think that there's often more similarities than there are differences. I think, well, especially when it comes to like men and in relation to women in terms of relationships. Like, I think that, um, like, I don't think that there's necessarily, and this goes beyond even just like races, like, I don't think that there is a safe type of man. Does that make sense? Or like I don't think that there's a type of man that is safer than any other type of man. I think that men are men, and you find that, and there's just and they're men anywhere you go. And so that is, I guess, all I have to say about that for right now.
So the point that it seems like generally was in the comments and KG also showing was the fact that, you know, one having more power than the other. What do you think about the fact that like white men have more power, like, and at the same time are still harmful?
Yeah. So is I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I think that is often why that they are so harmful, is because they are sitting kind of at the top of that privilege ladder, and there's a lot of entitlement there. There's a lot of like things that I think white men take for granted. That like a lack of any sort of systemic oppression, and that assumption that everyone is sort of experiencing that same thing. And I think that it produces a lack of empathy in a lot of ways, and just an inability to like understand how things can like affect. Like it's not just about how hard you can work for everybody else who's not a white man. Like there's going to be things in place that are going to be hurdles that you don't necessarily have control over. But for a white man, it's like, why can't you just work harder? Why can't you just do this? And I think it produces a lack of empathy.
I would say that it actually creates a whole bunch of mediocrity. Because part of the reason that we have the increase in YT supremacy groups, like online and in real life and shit, is because prior to, I would say, the 2000s, let's just be so for real, all you had to do to get a job that paid you something decent was be a white dude who had a college degree, and you were going to be upper management very quickly, and you were going to move up to the C-suite. Now there's actual competition, and they are crashing the F out because, again, they've never actually had to do anything to move up. They just were.
Yeah, and it's interesting when my ex from way back when, like from when we were in college, he was a couple years ahead of me. So he graduated college, I was still in college. And I remember him literally saying, like, why have a degree now? Like, why don't I have a six-figure job automatically? Why don't I have, like, why am I experiencing any sort of struggle? This isn't how life is supposed to go. Life is supposed to go where I go to college, I graduate college, get good job that pays all my bills and allows me to live comfortably. And the fact that that wasn't happening for him really screwed him up.
Yeah, that would be that entitlement.
So again, because that feels like they have such a huge hurdle, even though it's not. It's just having to be more than just mediocre. If you've never had to be more than just mediocre, telling you to actually do something sounds like, oh, that's oppression. They're trying to take away our rights. It's all women's fault. It's the blacks' fault. It's the Asians' fault. It's the Hispanics' fault. That's why I can't get ahead. See? It's
Right. the ones who are successful have this idea that they got to where they are solely based on merits, and like they don't take into account the privileges that they had that allowed them to get there. And so like so much of the time I will, especially selling houses, like I will run into YT men who think that they are so much smarter than they are, and they'll try to tell me about the real estate market and like about like how to do my job, and I'm like, you literally aren't making any sense right now. Like you have a job that pays you like decent money. Like you don't sound smart, sir.
Yeah, because when you don't have to actually like work for anything and it's given it to you, it makes you soft. Like, and that's why we deal with like the level of mediocrity, because it's like you didn't actually have to work for that. Like in some ways you were favored, and it's like you feel like when you're not getting special privileges, you feel some type of way because I think there's also a panic there. Because like without the special privileges, would you be where you are now? Um, my background kind of loud.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't that, to me, it still just all boils down to the power thing is a facade. I mean, it's not real. Excuse me, it's not real. So even those who quote unquote have the power because they made sure that they did through, racism and the patriarchy or misogyny, they're not going to be happy because they're not being themselves. They're still performing, and they're not being themselves. They're not able to be human. And if you have to dehumanize yourself to dehumanize others, there's going to be a fallout, no matter what. So you have people who have the power, but they still don't have an identity, and they're crashing out. And you have people who have bought into this idea and they want to get the power because they think that power will solve some of their problems and they're crashing out to get it. So it's all the same thing. I guess what I'm saying is like the roads all still lead to the crash out. They're not they're detached from their humanity. Both people in these pictures are detached from their humanity because they're performing.
Yeah, because it's like if it is power, right? Now I get like if you are looking through things through the perspective of a man, like and you trying to and YT men are defining what a man is, then yeah, you might feel like, oh, he has power in that sense. He forms your the YT men to form your identity and all that. You want to have those privileges. But my thing is if you make it all the way to the top and you're still unhappy, something's off about that. So as women, seeing how we don't have that access and knowing that like when you male identify you, it's like the proximity to like certain men um becomes something that women use to hang on to that system. When you're deconstructing from that, the question is then is like, what is actual power? And are we maybe the way we think power is and the way we define it comes from the fact that like even when we criticize like black men for like allowing YT men telling what a man is, like maybe we need to like rethink about what power actually is, because when you have power, right, you don't feel like you have to subjugate other people. You don't feel like you have to like try to put somebody in their place, and you wouldn't be miserable about being in a position that like you feel powerful in. That's the way I see it, because it's like at the end of the day, being hooked on substances and things like that, that's that's telling, because usually people cope with substances to address an underlying issue. So something ain't right. So do y'all think that like maybe as women we should like redefine what power is, and then like the question is what is actual power? What do y'all think?
Well, so are you saying that if like men who have power outside of a relationship are going to be less harmful than men who don't?
No, I'm not talking about the harm. I'm definitely not talking about the harm. I'm talking about like as a person itself. Like let me read you up. what I'm saying is, and I'm just kind of alluding to what KG always talking about with, like, we talk about like, oh, why men got power? That's why black men be cucking for him or whatever. But the thing is like, do we also define power that way, or do we see it differently?
You can redefine power, though. Not when we have active structures that are taking away our rights, which shows our lack of power. See, and like power is the ability to make decisions, and they have an impact on other people.
I don't know if you had an order or if I
Hold on,
should.
real quick, yeah. Go ahead, Kay, and then you can go after. Okay, drop. Go ahead, Empirical.
So what's the difference, in my opinion, from what I know historically and currently, is that the melanated man, when he's yelling, I feel like he's yelling at the white tea guy because he just experienced strange fruit on a tree in 2024, and he's trying to tell the white tea man that the guy didn't unalive himself, and the white tea man is the cop that be a, police brutality, and he's just yelling back, not listening to the melanated man express his feeling about what he's seen in the tree.
Anybody want to respond?
No, that's stupid.
No, it's not stupid, it's real life.
So hold up, Drika, why you say that?
Because I think that, hold on, let me put in here. I think that saying it like that is on purpose, trying to kind of fearmonger when the conversation is really about how we're being affected by this need to be like the YT man. I often love to quote when Malcolm X said that the black community is the most heavily policed, yet there's so much crime.
So then how what I
And
said is
Hold on, let
stupid?
her
hold on, let
finish.
me
Let her
finish.
finish.
Let me finish. So it must mean that the criminals and the cops are in cahoots, and that's what it boils down to. The community is being hurt because of this need to be a man, to fit that standard, to have a piece of that. Um, Being a man is prioritized over being black so much that children and women have been harmed year after year. We've been the ones who've been fighting and marching and screaming to the top of our lungs to protect our men while they've been complicit a lot of the time in spite of. So I
Our
think
men
when you
have been
hear,
unalived. What are you
let me
talking about?
finish, let me finish, let me finish. Are you okay?
Are you
Or
okay?
do you want to have the conversation, or do you want to over talk me?
Well, you just said what I said was stupid, so I think I want
Yeah, and I'm explaining why it was stupid. And your behavior is proving my point that it's stupid and that you're fear mongering and you're trying to deflect from the
to use a
conversation we're
four-letter
having.
word to describe my opinion is
I do what I
ludicrous.
want. I don't care. Yeah, I
Well,
do what
that
I
just
want.
shows that
I do what
my
I
five
want.
degrees trump whatever dumb
Yeah,
degree
they
you
do.
have.
Yeah, they do. You
Because
do.
I
You
can
got
use a
it.
word
You
like
got it.
ludicrous
You got it. You got
versus
5 degrees.
like
You're so smart. You're so
I'm super
important. You're so
smart.
kind. You
I am
got
so
it. You
important,
got
super
it.
Hold up,
important.
y'all. Hold up,
You
y'all.
got it.
Let Drika finish what she was saying, and then you can respond when she's done.
Okay.
So that's the point. I think that we've this infantilizing of men in general is a problem, and in this context, this extreme example is a problem, and I think it's stupid compared to the conversation that we're having, which is an important conversation. We need to get out of this delusion that we've been in and recognize that they've been complicit because they want to be like a Watchman.
Okay, so I'm going to respond. The prompt in this back says, what's the difference? it doesn't imply anything. That means I can come up with my own analogy or analytical thinking of what I think that is. So to say that that's stupid is to say that what you just said was stupid, because what you said piggybacked on what I said. I gave you a scenario and you still talked about the racial inequalities just like I have, except I was a little bit more specific, and my timeline was according to 2024 data of strange fruits being in trees, and this 21-year-old male who was found, and the police said that he unalived himself.
Okay, ma'am. So, how often, when we see something happen to black men, do we see black men actually screaming in the face of white men? Give me one example. We've never seen it, so stop lying. But we've seen black women do it.
Excuse me, you asked me a question, so
And I know that you're not going to be able to show an
First of
example.
all, I will show an example. And I don't know if this is male bashing day, but I'm just letting you know that from a perspective, our melanated men are sick of themselves being unalived, and they have pushed back. It's just that women who stand next to their man and the cause, there's more than us than there is of them. So we see more of us rallying, and we see less of them because we outnumber them when it comes to protesting and things of that nature.
But there are actually more black women than black men. We're actually right around 50-50.
Hold up, KG. Hold up, KG. Hold up, y'all.
Do you have emotional control?
Hold up. I wanted Carter and Drika to finish their conversation. Do you want to respond?
No, I need to land my plane. Like
I do. She can finish and then I will.
KG just cut me off, and she is emotionally unhealed because she need to have some type of self-control. Obviously, she wants to bash men, but yeah, I'll stop with the mute button.
We don't do hominins up here. So you don't get to state.
No, I
that
get to
someone is
land my
unhealed.
plane, and I get to disagree with you.
But you don't.
You're not powerful. You just have control over that mute button and the drop button. Otherwise, you are nobody, girlfriend.
Aww. Is that what you're landing with? Is that your landing?
No, that's not what I'm landing with. That's what I'm finishing off with you. But what I'm landing with is
Hold up, y'all.
There you go, mute.
Hold up, y'all. Y'all can have disagreements, but like, let's keep it to like the points. Let's address the points. Like,
And that's what I'm trying to. But these women seem to want to bash men.
No. That's for everybody. Like, we addressing the points, okay?
Well, obviously,
Did you want to land?
I do want to land, but I am going to say that these women can't even stand up to me. Let's just say that. Now, let me land my plane. Melanated men do fight back the best that they know how, but they need our help.
All right. KGR and Drika, I guess both of y'all can respond.
Hold on 1 second. Is this Tansy that always be on the Diamond Show panel?
Yes, it is, honey.
How did I fucking know? I'm dropping back down. Y'all entertain this shit.
Is this
Okay. I'm doing okay. I'm on the phone. It's okay. Yeah, prime example of something. Anyway, yeah, she said that I made the same point except she went into more detail, and that's fine. I think that it's okay that you come up and you have a difference of opinion based on what the prompt is talking about. But I was just making my point that we were having a conversation already about how black men often want to be just like white men. And that's why I thought you coming up and saying what you said was stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. I could if I wanted to, but I didn't. I just said that the point was stupid. So and you ended up bringing it full circle when you said that black men do the best that they could do and they need our help. Yeah, that's the lie they've been telling us. They need us to help them subjugate us. So what we do is we are supporting them because they're black and they're trying their hardest to reach the status of YT men so that they can have the same perceived power that YT men have over women and everyone else, so they can have it over us. And although they don't have that same power, globally, what they do is they terrorize us. They terrorize the women and children of the community. They commit these crimes to try to achieve the wealth, because they feel like wealth will give them the power. And I can go on and on and on. And that's the stuff that we need to talk about, because we need to stop aiding them in their subjugation of us.
Can
And
I ask a
you just, hold on,
question?
ma'am, you just said that KGR didn't have any control. And every time I speak, you don't
I
have any
just asked if I
control.
can ask a question
Calm down,
after
but
you.
let me finish. But let me finish. You can
Go
let me finish.
ahead, Miss Moody.
So,
Yes.
Miss Who?
Just go ahead, girlfriend.
Why are you being condescending?
No, I'm not. I said for her to go ahead because I was going to respond. That's why I said, can I ask you a question? But she said for me not to interrupt. So I said, go ahead.
That's what I was saying before. We just
So,
talking about points, but then you had through
I
Jay.
had, no, I just wanted to ask her a specific question, but she said let her land her plane.
and that her being condescending is so
I'm not
funny,
being
because let
condescending.
me, ma'am, I asked you, was you okay?
And
If
I
you're not,
asked
I can say,
you,
I can
I
pray for
said,
you.
go
I can pray for you
ahead.
right now. I can pray for you. We can speak.
Pray,
I can hold your
pray.
hand and I can pray for you if
Hold
you're
my
not okay.
hand, but just go
Okay, well, I'm
ahead.
holding your hand. I'm holding your
Go
hand.
ahead. After you're
I'm
done, I
saying
just would
this.
like to ask a
I'm
question.
saying this with the love of Jesus. God
Well,
bless
I
your soul.
rebuke
Hold up,
God
remember
bless
you
you.
not letting hold up. You not letting her talk. You said you had a
talking to
problem
me.
with
She's
people not
legit
letting you
talking
talk.
to me.
No, you literally we all heard it.
I
You was
asked her if I can
confined
ask her a
in, and the
question,
answer
and
was no.
she did
Let
not
her
say
finish.
no. She did not say no.
No, but she was still talking. You can't answer
Okay, so all she had to
questions.
do was say wait, and I said, okay, then go
Okay,
ahead,
that's
I
what I'm
girlfriend.
trying to
did.
tell you now.
I did.
Okay, so go ahead and
Go ahead,
So
ask
the
your
finish.
question.
Go ahead and finish, Rika.
so the funny thing about her being condescending to me and trying to um put on this air of intelligence, like she's more intelligent than the ladies that's up here, is so comical, because most of us up here are black women, and she don't have any grace or understanding for us, but she has all the grace, all the defense, all the fight, all the power, all the things for black men. And that's interesting in itself, because she wants to coddle and baby and love on black men, but she wants to be condescending and competitive with me. And that just goes to show all of those who's listening, when you have these older women who are pygmies, who run around trying to wield their intelligence or their degrees in the name of upholding this black patriarchy that she's fighting her life for. It just goes to show you what's the issue and what's really going on, because she's trying so hard to pick a fight, to be an antagonist, to agitate the conversation, to shake the table, because she wants to do the dirty work for black men so that they can have a black patriarchy. And she thinks they're going to let her in. She don't know that they will skull drag her along with anybody else who thinks like her. She doesn't know it. As intelligent as she is, she don't know that much. And that's why she is willing and so enthusiastic about fighting with black women about something that she should know with her smart ass, with all her degrees and all of that. So I just want y'all to pay attention, because it's so funny.
Okay, can I say
Go ahead, hold up. Go ahead, KZR.
I thought you said I can respond to her afterward.
Yeah,
After
yeah,
I go.
you said both of their names. I'm letting both of them say something. There you go. It's fine.
So yeah, I do find it interesting that you're trying to act as though you're nothing, you don't know anything. Ma'am, I'm not talking to you. And the fact that you tried to state, "Oh, you all aren't healed." I would say that you're not healed, because anyone who consistently will bash black women in favor of trying to infantilize and then put down and uplift black men at the expense of black women is very not healed. That's the remnants of the whole ride or unalive era. That's that whole stupidity. That is the cognitive dissonance of knowing that this person is harmful to you, has never stood up for you, has not fought for you, and you're still going to go 10 toes down. How can you say someone's the leader? Oh, but they need your help to get everything. Black men and black women are about 50-50 within society, total, like numbers. Actually, they're going to outnumber us within the next 5 years. So again, there are more of them. They are male, therefore they already have an advantage over us. So why is it that they need everybody to coddle them and fix them and help them out? That is also what I call, crippling them, because you're making them absolutely reliant on another group of people for their own safety and for their liberation. That's kind of crazy, don't you think? Especially if you're trying to state that they are so, they're fighting for them, but they just don't know how. That's how infantilizing that sounds. Like, you're the mammy, that's the problem. You're the one who protects the family, P3DO, because you don't want another innocent black man to go to prison. You don't want to hurt him. That's what I got. Those are the vibes I got. Okay. So anyway, but that's the problem.
Okay, so
Tansy, you've been running this panel. Take a break.
no,
Hold on. Take a goddamn break or take a lap, because I got something to say, and I'm tired of hearing your mouth.
He just told
I'm
me
tired
that
of hearing your mouth. Listen, I don't care. I came up here to say something to you because I'm tired of you having people up in this panel actually talking to you.
Okay, so
like you give a shit about the black man. So like I said, what you do every morning at 6 a.m. is get up on another panel and talk about how you running black men, you running their pockets, you putting them on the phone, I'm getting this, I'm getting that.
Content,
and you can see what I listen. This is not a conversation. I'm just talking to you. I don't need a response from you because I know what you do. So I don't know why you coming up here playing in our faces today. Like you really up here saving the black man, but you get up here and dog and clown how you get in black men's pockets every day. I'm showing you these receipts. I'm going to put him on the phone. He getting a second job for me because he take care of me. But now we supposed to be over here believing you on this bullshit. That's why I said you're not worth talking to. That's for Drika and KGR. You don't even belong over here. Why are you here? You can go now. You can answer now. Answer.
Oh no, I dropped her because she kept interrupting.
She a fucking clown. I'm going back downstairs. Move on to some real content. We got some other people up here. I'm going back downstairs.
Love you, Miss Dark Horse. You're the best.
Love you, babe.
So I just want to shout out myself, y'all, because I did what I said I was going to do. I did what I said I was going to do. But anyway, not to censor myself. What's up, Fresh Water?
So I don't have anything to say right now. I'm just
Right then.
peeping
Okay,
everything.
come back. That's fine. Come back when you got something to say. What's up, Rasta?
How are y'all?
You're wonderful.
I appreciate y'all taking up for, the black men. The few of you left that still do stuff
Hold up,
like that.
pause, sir. Can you say who specifically are you addressing right now when you're talking?
I'm just addressing the lady that dropped. She was taking up for the black men.
So hold up. So why are you saying I want to thank y'all if the lady who's not up here anymore?
Because I only been here for 2 minutes. I don't know who else was taking up for us. I just got here like 2 minutes ago, and I heard the last 5 minutes of y'all conversation.
Ain't nobody taking up for y'all. Why the shit you need somebody to come rescue you?
Well, the few that's left that do support us, I appreciate y'all.
That was me. The rest of them are.
Hold on, I dropped you because you wouldn't mute up. You gotta wait till it's your turn to speak.
I thought you dropped me. I thought someone else dropped me.
Yeah, I dropped you. I just said it earlier because you was speaking out of turn.
You told me I can go after the two, and then all of a sudden things changed and shifted.
Why are you interrupting the man? There is a Rasta man speaking. Why are you interrupting him?
Because these women are the 4B movement or something. They don't like men. They're male bashing. I didn't know I was on a.
Pick-me-ism is like the
You're
biggest form
male
of
bashing.
misandry. Stop disrespecting the man. The man was in the
Disrespecting
middle of
our
his
men
sentence.
who are
You are disrespecting the man who is on the stage now. Let the man say the thing the man
was
was trying
talking
to
about
say. Why
me.
are
He
you
was
over
wondering
talking the
what happened to
man?
me. You
He's
don't
a
even know what
man.
you're
He
talking
has a
about,
whole
Vanity.
weenus.
You
Why are
don't know
you not allowing the person with the
he
weenus
was
to speak his mind?
talking about
He needed his
he
chance
was
to
talking
speak
about
his mind. And here
me.
you are over talking the man.
Foster.
Let the man
What
speak
was
now.
you? You're on a for the
Hey, Vanity.
Hey, I'm just up here protecting the man from the pygmies because pygmies hate men.
Look at you out here doing the work. So, do you want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, I appreciate all the queens
So, can you
that's
say her name? Who you talking to?
y'all dropped her.
No, hold on,
Empress,
hold
I
on.
think
You
she's
didn't
an
hear
Empress.
Vanity just come up here and protect your voice, She said to protect you and let you speak. You don't want to give her a shout out?
All of the positive queens that love us, we love you too.
No, you don't want to say her name? She literally came up here to save you, sir.
Empress, y'all dropping her like
No, no. Vanity just came up here to protect your voice, sir.
Vanity too. I appreciate all of you. I'm just trying to show love. I don't want to be technically.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you for thanking Vanity. What's up, Summer?
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? That's hilarious. You want to thank the queens, but you can't even name them. That nigga don't even see women as human beings. It's gross. And this what these women want to. I didn't know that's who that was. That's Tansy. We was mutuals. I was like, oh no, I can't be.
That's because he didn't get a chance to speak yet. And he already made his point. He wouldn't have made that point, but he can request back up if he want to prove the point. But we need some decorum.
I knew who it was. I just think she's funny. But it was interesting that he wanted to, thank the queens, but to Summer's point, he couldn't even recognize her name. He couldn't even acknowledge who she was. And to Vanity's point, she's so deep in her performance that she did the thing that the men always complain about that she's protecting, is that she interrupted this man who was trying to give her some flowers, even though he didn't know who she was and he really didn't give a damn about her, and she couldn't even let him do the thing. And I just find it funny how full circle the whole situation came. And it just goes to, not only are men who think who subscribe to this hegemonic masculinity, not only do they often speak circular and they do the circle jerk and they do all the things, even the women who support them and who are their mouthpiece, they do the same thing. Like, I just want people to notice that the women literally take on the same talking points, the same cadence, the same energy, the same attitude, the same disrespect, the same devaluing. They take on the same things. And it's funny because you're a pygmy and you're trying to help push this idea, but you're acting just like them and they're performing. Thank you. You too. And they're performing this masculinity. So are you trying to perform the masculinity too? And that's why they don't respect y'all, because y'all are being quote unquote masculine. And I'm using their logic. That's why y'all lose. That's why y'all are losers, because y'all are so deep in y'all performance that y'all end up acting just like them. Y'all perform the same character. And there's no way in hell I would sign up to be a caricature of something, like, willingly. It's comical. It's comical.
Hey, Feisty.
So the prompt though,
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. What's going on?
what's the difference between white men and black men? Not much. I think the main difference to me would be that black men have even lower self-esteem as a group because the ideal of manhood is about white men. It's about money and capitalism and whatever and power and being able to lord over other people and be the top of the hierarchy. And so at least white men might feel like maybe I could. Now, poor white men, that's a different story. But for a lot of black men, the insecurity and the low self-esteem because of those things make it even worse. So I think most men we should avoid anyway. That's it. Unless you.
Go ahead, Feisty. She playing on our phone.
Maybe she doesn't know she's up here. I'm just going to say something real quick because actually before, the reason why I came up before the woman started acting a whole fool, there's a thing called the bigotry of low expectations, right? And it's a form of classism and racism and all the other isms and everything like that, where instead of being like overtly against the person who is like lower on the totem pole, you kind of pat them on the head and say, oh, they're not smart enough, they're not strong enough, they're not good enough, they're not enough. All the ways in which you tell somebody that they're not enough, right? And one of the things that I think when it comes to the patriarchy, there is like this whole pick-meism and this coddling. While I wasn't lying, it actually is a form of misandry. It is a hatred of men because you will not let them aspire to be humans and be the best human that they can be. But when it comes to black men, everybody's giving them the bigotry of low expectations, where it's like, oh, they can't do it. They don't have the fight in them. They don't have the power. And while we're sitting here and we're saying this is the reason why we had to put on our capes and rescue them, like this is a way of like they always say we're being emasculated. This is emasculation to say that you are not enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not brave enough in order to do the things to get yourself out of whatever muck and mire you find yourself in. So when we start talking to people and we sit here and we're like, caping for somebody to be mediocre, when we're caping for people and saying that, oh, they just don't understand, they need this, they need that and everything. This is a form of bigotry. And so while, the men like it because they enjoy the man stroking and everything like that, what they don't understand is it actually undermines them in the eyes of not only like the person who is actively undermining them and the people around who are watching them being undermined, but also in their own eyes, because then they start to actually believe that they're not smart enough, strong enough, brave enough, etc., etc. So, yeah, those are the things. So if you are a pick me, you are actively destroying a man. Let him be a human and learn how to be humane.
What's up, music?
Hi,
Thank you,
my name's
Monica.
Leah.
Do you
I'm
want
sorry.
to go ahead?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the question is what's the difference between black men and white men? I just want to make sure that that's what we're talking about. Uh-oh, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no one said anything. So I dated both. I think the biggest thing that I could say the difference was culturally there were just certain ways that I feel were the biggest difference. The white guy that I was dating, he didn't really have a background of understanding me on a cultural level. So there were some things that just came familiar to me that that just resonated with me culturally, like what I'm used to, what I grew up around. And or just me kind of being how I handled situations were different. He was, I think a lot of the times he was more curious just about almost like not like fetish. What is it like fetish? I don't know how to say the whole word. It almost felt like he was more intrigued with me than he was actually wanting to like know me as a person. I think he just saw me black first and then saw me as a woman. So there were a lot of like things that I didn't really like about that. But when it came to him being vulnerable, it was like easier for him as a when I dated, because I've dated more black men than white, so that was just my one experience. I think the just the standard of black men being, strong and not really having to show weakness or, having to kind of carry this persona of them that I didn't really see the difference until I dated a white guy, and it's kind of the same in a man, but it's different when they're racist because they just kind of they show their manhood in different ways. Me personally, I probably wouldn't date outside of my race again. And it's not because there's nothing to do with, I like to relate on a cultural level, right? I just like to have certain things that are just understood right then and there. I don't really want to have to break down why I'm upset that I'm the only black girl in a bar and there's a lot of people that look like you and you can't really get why I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Or in situations where I'm the minority, and unless you can fully see yourself in that way, you don't really understand what that feels like. And I live in a predominantly white city, so when I was dating outside of my race, I did notice that there was a situation that happened where I felt offended by something, and instead of having my side and seeing it, his reaction was, "Well, she probably didn't mean it that way. You're probably taking it the wrong way." And at that moment, I was like, yeah, culturally, we're probably just not seeing eye to eye. I think that's just the biggest difference between white men and black men is just culture. It's what they're accustomed to. So I like this topic, though. I don't really know who's hosting because it's just so quiet.
Hey y'all, this is Betty. What's the difference? I'm at the park, by the way, if you hear something. But nothing. This is easy. There's nothing. Nothing's the difference. Misogyny is misogyny. You go to the YT side of TikTok where they're practicing misogyny. You're gonna hear the same thing. You're gonna hear the same type of misandry because misandry, coming from our men, is just our word tropes and stereotypes that they got from the YT side, and then they use it against us. So there is no difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you both. I think that also, to what Vanity was saying, I in talking to women who were straight up pygmies, I find that I actually believe men are human beings and could be more human and could learn to like be empathetic and da 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 da, and they could do whatever. And when you talk to them, they're like, "Oh, girl, men can't do that. You got to trick them into it. You got to tell them what you got to do. You got to." And it took me a long time to realize I'm the one that's seen as so radical, right? But I think they could be human beings, and y'all think they are unequal, and that you are really a lot of the women think they're really in charge, right? And they got to trick the man into different things, and they got to play the role. Why should I pretend if I'm in charge? But the men are fine with that. They want them to pretend, and they're fine with it. And the women are like, "This is the role we have to play." And maybe this is neurodivergence things again too, because I'm like, why should we play a role when it's just not true? I don't know.
And see, the funny thing is, you said role playing. There's a thing that's called topping from the bottom, right? So you appear to be in a submissive position, but you're the one who's actually running things. And a lot of this gender war slash, submission slash, women this, men that. It's really a kink. And the thing is like, I'm not gonna, yuck your yum. Just don't put any of it on me. Like, I don't want any part of it. I don't want to participate. Don't try and make me participate. When you are doing the BDSM thing, you're supposed to be getting consent. So trying to rope me into your idea of what I should be based on what you want and you desire, and for whatever weird reason you don't want the ones who are willing to play the game with you, you only want to play with the people who absolutely don't want to play. Like, that is that's a sickness in itself. But for the people out there, find your teammates, find the people who like that game, and bother with them. Don't bother with the people who don't want it. As for the people who are questioning whether or not they want to be involved in it, don't stop us when we're informing them. We're informing everybody what the game is, and then once you know what the game is, then you get to play. You've read all the instructions for your Monopoly game. Now you play. You don't play without reading the instructions first.
So I don't know if y'all have ever seen this. I've seen this several times, but like, you'll have two men from two very different walks of life, specifically a white man and a black man, and they'll meet each other, and like, you'll think like, okay, these two are going to have nothing in common. Like, let's say both of them personally, and it's like, I don't think they're going to have much to talk about. They are from very different sort of worlds, and the thing that they bond over is the misogyny that they both have. Like, the thing that will be like and now we're like best buds is like, we both hate our wives. We both like, and that to me always really struck me as like, that is like a connecting, like that it's like an icebreaker for men from different cultures, is like their misogyny.
Oh my gosh, Liz, I literally said that so many times. Like, I don't know how many times I've said that. And not to say nobody agree with me, but like, I don't know why I feel validated, because I said that in my line of work, I like was so frustrated and so sick when I realized that the one thing that the staff and the population agreed on was their misogyny. And I used an example of one day I was sitting in my office, and one of the guys who was in the population was in a separate population. And it was a staff member who was escorting him around, and they were sitting and waiting on their appointment. And I had my door open, I'm listening, and one of our new staff members, she is a younger woman, and she had just started working, so she was coming through the building to ask her boss a question. And she passed by, and the guy that was in the population was like, "Oh, who is that?" And he was like, "Damn." And the staff member who was escorting him was like, "Oh, I don't know, but damn." And together, in that situation where there's a power dynamic, there was a race component, there was a complaint on that specific staff member by the man that was in the population. All of those things in place, and they still connected on them objectifying this young woman who was probably nervous and scared. It's her first week by herself. She's trying to ask a question, and she has to walk past these two men, and their place on the hierarchy didn't matter. The threat was there, the offense was there, the issue was there. And it happens so much. And oftentimes when they clash, it's not because that the staff member is offended by the population doing something that is sexual in nature towards a woman staff member. It's that we're their property, and how dare you sexualize our property. That's what we do. And I just think that it's crazy that happens, but I've seen it so much. And that's when I think me recognizing that and having these conversations on TikTok allowed me to open my eyes to how dangerous the misogyny is and how race doesn't matter when it comes to subjugating women. And yeah, I believe that I have a unique place in that. But when you see it firsthand, when you see their ability to connect and bond with each other over their hate for women, it's like, wow. Nothing really matters when it comes to that.
Right. It's like that is like the sort of force that seems to be up like above all the other ones.
I'm a hard agree because even remember when what's his name Eminem first came out and he had the song about unaliving his ex-wife, and as much as this dude has not as much in common with anybody else, they were all like, it was Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and like three other like hardcore rappers. They're like, I mean, the dude be preaching facts. I mean, how many times have you thought about unaliving your wife?
And even with that KJR, they ignored. I think him making that helped them forget about some of the Grace's raps and Grace's underground things that he did that was specific towards the Black community. They forgot about that because for them it was all like, again, to your point, they don't care because he speaks to something that's deep inside of them. And I think his justification for some of that underground racist stuff that he was saying was because the Black woman that he was dating hurt him. And what Black man can't relate to evil Black women, right? So I think they ignore all of that because they're disconnected with their Blackness. They want to be more connected with being a man. And they can appreciate men calling out women bad behavior, and they can appreciate it even more if it's a Black woman being called out. They love that. It validates them. It makes them feel good. It gets them ripe and ready. It's disgusting.
And to what the sister said before, who was talking about dating the white man, she said like he saw her as a Black woman, a Black person first, and then a woman, because womanhood, is whiteness, is white womanhood, right? And for a lot of Black men, the truth is, to your point, Drika, they don't see themselves as Black men. They see themselves as a man first. That's why it's all that "ain't I a man?" Because it's trying to be like a white man, like a white man at the end of the day. So same thing is, I'm a man first and I'm Black. And I don't know how Black men see us though, just not human, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they're mad. That's why I made this point too, but then somebody else said it. I forgot who else said it, so I'm sorry, because I don't know if I said on the front or the back end. But anywho, Black men, maybe it was Bree, but Black men, they definitely are angry at Black women because they believe Black women made them Black. Because had they not had, and I always thought of it in the with the rule that was made or the law that was passed in slavery, when they passed a law saying that whatever the mother is what the child is, because of all of the grief that was happening to the black women who were enslaved and all of the babies. So they made the rule so that it wouldn't be the father's responsibility to take on the race. Like, you couldn't take your father's race, you had to take whatever the mother's race was. So if there was children being born, with if the master was impregnating the enslaved women, but through grape, I want to make sure that's clear, through grape, because that's what it was. It wasn't consensual. The child would be whatever the mother is, and that was a way that they were absolved the responsibility. And to that point, really, really quickly, that's why I'm always laughing at this separation that happens when it comes to Black men and YT men. YT men never wanted to be responsible for their children. They don't give a damn about their children either. They don't care. They never have. And matter of fact, when it came to the child support conversation, I want to say YT men were the ones who were like, they got like a crew together, a team, or I don't know, a damn group. I can't think of the term that I want to use, but they went to fight. They want to fight to not have to pay child support. So there's not much difference in either group when you really start breaking down things. Like, it's just not much difference.
I have a question for y'all. Because I feel like we cover like how like black men, they want to be YT men so bad. But I think there's also like there's a mutual exchange going on too. But I don't know what y'all think about, like, we know like black men can typically be hyper masculinated, right? And we know that like a lot of YT men like the music that they produce. They like the fact that they can say things that essentially, because of certain tropes, they're allowed to say. Do y'all, would y'all, do y'all see that, or would y'all think that's not the case?
No, I agree. And if you think about it from the perspective of the music industry, let's just look at the music industry. The group of men that they got to come out with the most derogatory stuff towards, women were black men. Right? And you have to remember, these guys most of the time they don't write their own music half the time. It's usually a white guy writing their shit. So they get to do that. And then again, remember yesterday we said good men need bad men, right? So again, they're able to put one group up as, see, these men are violent and dangerous. And you see, we don't do that, so we're better than them. You see, that's what's wrong with you YT women. You see, when you go to them, they're going to hurt you. You see how they talk about their own women? Think about what they're going to say about you.
I don't think it's a difference though, KGR.
Oh, no, it's not a difference, but the difference is that they get to wear the mask.
No, that's not what I was about to say. I was saying that I think that YT men make music that is just as disrespectful. It's just not as vulgar, I guess. Like, they might not use as much profanity. Like, if you think about country music, it's kind of more covert. And rap and stuff is just more like overt. Like, it's just more out loud. It's just a little bit more vulgar, a little bit louder, a little bit more aggressive maybe.
My question for you would be is, do you think they wish they could be that way? They could just like this overtly say it. Because the whole thing about covert is about, you playing a role, but you being sneaky in the background. You think like they do want to say those things. That's why they like that music. That's why they promote that music, because like they get to get their shit off with it.
Yeah, and that's to KGR's point. That's why a lot of times they're the ones writing it, because like they're literally the author. They just and it's not so much as that I think that they purposely are covert about it, because that is their thing. Like, that is on purpose. Like, they get when you think about it, like it's a saying that a lot of YT men love to repeat, and they literally like tattoo it on themselves. Rich man's war, poor man's fight. That is a quote that they often say without understanding what they're saying, and it goes to the power, or this illusion of power that the few YT men who are at the top, quote unquote, that's what they have. They get to pull the strings. They get to be the puppet master. They get to get their shit off by having other people do the work, do the dirty work, self-destruct, sabotage themselves. It's something about that they get to enjoy. That's why they wrote the script. They wrote the play. They are the author of it. So they know exactly what they're doing. The execs, they are totally fine with being behind the scenes and being this well put together, proper speaking, quote unquote man who is controlled, who has the temperament. Like, they enjoy that. Like, that's a part of the game. They get a thrill out of it. They're getting their shit off. That's how they get it off. It's not only do I get to do what I want, but I get to make you do the thing for entertainment. I am if you think about the Greek, I forget what the name they give them, but the gladiators, like, all of that is fun. Being able to
put this thing together, and I get to sit up and I get to have my grapes and I get to be in my beautiful fabrics. I get to have my little eyeliner on. I am sitting here not even actually looking like the super masculine thing that I'm making y'all do, and I get to be entertained by y'all being hyper masculine and violent. That's the thrill of it. That is hegemonic masculinity in a nutshell. If you look at how they break it down, like, that's the whole point.
Anybody else want to add something? Hey, Prince, did you get to say something?
No. Hello. I'm just waiting I kind of woke up from a nap about 10 minutes ago, so I'm just listening and like letting my brain warm up a bit.
Yeah, you good.
But okay.
Did anybody else want to respond?
Oh yeah, but that's the whole point. Like, I agree 100%. They do get off on being able to throw rocks, hide their hands, and also be the puppet master to cause the whole rocks to be in the hands in the first place. But I'm also saying it's a great tool also to keep other groups in their place, to keep having a boogeyman, because again, Black men are so hyper masculinized and they have to perform this masculinity to a point where that's always seen as aggressive. It's easy to take away people's rights when you have a boogeyman. So Black men have literally become the ultimate puppet along with poor white T-men. And they all play a part in all of it. And then they don't see that they're being pushed into that. But then they all enjoy it. I don't think that they dislike being the puppets. I think they just aspire to be the puppet master.
Yeah, and the thing is like, my question would be are they a puppet, or is that the trade-off? Because we see that, like, when it comes to a lot of issues that Black men are facing, they don't seem to want to fight back. So it's like, for them, could it be the trade-off? Like, I don't have this position you have, but at the same time, I get to say it out loud. I get to be who I want to be. I don't have to hide behind that mask. I get to be this outward God, and like, I get off on that.
I do think that is it. And there's also a trade-off of white men living vicariously through Black men through this sexualization of them. Like, a lot of times when you're around white men, they're constantly bringing up to a Black woman Black men's meat size. And it's like, baby, first of all, it's not true. Like, not everybody is big, but they're so caught up on it. All men are caught up on size, but like, white men, that's probably why I've never really dated one, because immediately they bring that up. And I think the funny thing is, white men don't respect white women anymore. It's just white women are supposed to be the pinnacle, so they can't say those things about white women because they need other men to put white women on a pedestal because it makes them feel, more better. Those are their women, so that's what we need to get to, and we don't talk about their women like that, to the point that a Black man who won't stand up for us will often run up to stand up for a white woman, right? And so the trade-off is really weird and icky on so many ways. Like, yeah.
Oh, wait. Hey, Walking, did you want to say something real quick?
Yes. So what she just said is on point. But I'm gonna go down again because I want to do a little bit more listening.
Okay. You can come back when you feel like it.
You can bring me down.
Did anybody else want to say something?
I think I have something, but I don't know. I'm still trying to work through the words in my head. Because like while you guys were talking and, giving the and like saying all, oh shit. Damn, give me a minute. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I want to speak to that about because what Summer was saying about the YT men or whatever. On the opposite end, I also think that Black men enjoy their place in that, because all they have to do is, like, when the pressure gets too heavy or too hard, they can just say, hey, I didn't make the system up. It's not my fault. I don't really have any power. It's the YT man. They get to be a victim. Like, they get to do these horrible things. They get to participate and cause harm, and then they get to be the victims. And like, I always think of it in a criminal aspect, because y'all know that's my wheelhouse. But they will actively try to be like the YT men. They will reference Rockefeller. They will reference all of these YT men who have prestige and money and access, and they will say that they want to attain those things, and they don't, and their neighborhood is why they can't attain it, so they got to do what they have to do. So they pick up selling candy, they start committing crimes and all of those things, and when they get caught, their excuse for doing those horrible things to the community, to the people that look like them, harming the people that are in proximity to them, they say, well, it's because of the neighborhood I grew up in. The government is the biggest gangsters. Oh, well, so do YT men in these high places. They do things all the time. Like, that's where they can run cover. They can hide behind what YT men do. And it's kind of hard to argue that, because yeah, we understand the government is some of the biggest gangsters. Yeah, it is a lot of horrible things that happen from those at the top who are YT men. We could think of it globally, right? But they are conscious of that, and they know what they're doing. So they get to do all of these hyper masculine things, this horrible stuff. And then once they get caught up, their justification is, well, all I am is I'm black, and you know how it is for us black folks. So I just think that's interesting how both of them do it. And that goes to what we were talking about earlier. They want the power. They don't want the responsibility.
It's interesting. A lot of the things that I'm hearing said are things like I'm noticing how many parallels there are, how many similarities there are. Like, these are all things that, and I know this isn't necessarily the topic, but these are all things that white women also do. Like the clamoring to be at the same level as white men at the expense of everybody else. Like, and all of the things that sort of go along with that is something that white women are very much guilty of as well.
Ooh, and then pygmies and these white-centered black people do the same thing. Everybody's clamoring to be like white men. And I always say this.
Hold on, real quick. Summer, when you do it, could y'all provide some examples? Like, when some of them, Liz, if you can go back and give some examples, that would be helpful.
Yeah. So last week, for example, when that woman came up on your panel, Tara, and she was like, and I missed the first part of the conversation, but she was apparently like centering herself and sort of demanding labor from black women, and, you know, just perpetuating harm in all these ways. And then when she was called out for it and she started crying, and she like kept saying, she was like, well, I'm a DV victim. I'm a DV victim. Like, as if that excused the harm that she had caused. Like, she fell back on like her marginalized like part of her identity to sort of excuse that.
Ooh, I get one.
Hold on, no. So let Summer goes. I just wanted them to give examples. We can go after that.
Yeah, they're let's say, even like the one who just left, like Tansy who just left, being male-centered or in the white supremacist mindset. I'm not saying she has a white supremacist mindset, but being male-centered, we end up like you were saying, performing masculinity like that, talking over people, acting like you're smarter than everybody, acting like, you know, and infantilizing black men, because who is she acting like and doing it? And then there was one yesterday in Navi's live where a white woman who says she got a bunch of black friends, of course. And then she said, I attacked her. And then I mentioned her, you know, this is a microaggression. It's a dangerous thing for a white woman to say to a black woman, because you might, you know, use the police against somebody. Like, we were on live, so it doesn't matter. But in real life, this can be dangerous. And then she skipped past it. So, you know me, I dug down. Well, wait a minute. Go back to what I was saying. Do you understand? And she was like, well, I never heard of microaggression before. Well, I didn't know what it meant. Well, you know. And it's like, that kind of acting like I don't even know what the issue is, I'm going to scoot right past it, I'm not going to address it. I feel like it's all the same, yeah.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Damn, that's a good one.
Obama asked her to resign. She was unaliving, she was sick, she had cancer, she was going under chemo. Had she resigned and, he was able to put one or two justices up, we wouldn't be in the conundrum we're in. Her and also Hillary Clinton. Her and also Nancy Pelosi. All perfect examples of what Liz is talking about. Oh, the system's against us, and yet they also participate in said system to harm other people. But then it's not their fault because they're just women. And, oh my God, I didn't do that. And I should be allowed to do this because we can't have a black woman, again, Nancy Pelosi's issue. She did not want Kamala Harris to actually be the nominee because she did not believe a black woman should have something before a white tea woman. And then again, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, had she left the Supreme Court when she should have, when she was sick, we wouldn't be in this conundrum that we're in right now.
Yeah, the whole idea of like boss babe feminism really is like this idea of like I'm just want to clamor and get my way and like work my way to the top so that and it doesn't matter who I need to oppress like and step on the way there and I don't need to change the system at all, which is inherently harmful to most people in this sort of like capitalism dog eat dog system. As long as if there's a woman at the top of it, just by virtue of it being a woman, then that's supposed to like equal progress. That's supposed to equal something that is like admirable and an achievement for women, when really it's like it's the same. We're in the same oppressive system. There's just a woman sitting at the top of it instead of a man. How much progress is that really? And that's and women, white women, like, and what white feminism really is like this idea that like, well, because it's a woman doing it, it's somehow better.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for us to understand that patriarchy literally, that's why I said the definitions we pull up are sinister as hell sometimes, because like patriarchy is literally having a hierarchical structure, right? The one we have is based on gender, but when we look at intersectionality, we see that it can look a lot of different ways. When you understand that matriarchal is like egalitarianism, then yes, you can have a woman in charge and it still is patriarchy.
Yeah, I want to say something really quickly to something that Liz said, because I see a couple more people are back and up here. But with the boss babe thing, another thing that I found interesting, because we have been having some conversation about sexual liberation, I think that gets the conversation gets convoluted in a big old mess, because we go down this rabbit hole of like, just talking about sex work. But I think that sexual liberation shouldn't just be minimized to how much you can do of it, but sexual liberation is not being sexually objectified, violated, and all those things that I'm sure y'all understand and agree with. And I just want to add that, because I think sexual liberation is more than just how much you can do. So
100%, yeah. And people, I am probably like, you could argue like, I don't know if it's like more conservative when it comes to this. I have a hard time, and I have always struggled with the idea that like it is progress to like cater to like men's, you know what I mean? Like to sort of like
thing,
yeah. I've always really had a hard time with that in like in all facets of how that plays out.
And what would fix that real quick? Sorry.
Prince wanted to say something, y'all.
Oh, okay, my bad, Prince.
Okay, I'm awake now. Right. Just to kind of give my thoughts on what the prompt is, what's the difference between white men and black women. You guys really hit the nail on the head for a lot of it, because like there truly is no difference. But every time I think about it right now and I'm looking at it, I can't help but go into like the woo woo spiritual parts of it all, because like there is no difference, right? It just feels like an inverse of power within each other to keep patriarchy alive, if that makes sense. Like, there is no difference because the end goal is to keep women oppressed. And they don't care how it has to, what each one's role has to be to keep it, to get it done and keep it the way it is. So that's where I'm going to land my mini plane for now. I'll be back though.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. There's some people who want to actually like end oppression, and there's some other people who just want to be in charge. I definitely agree with that. Drika, did you want to say something else?
I wrote it down. So, who, Vanity, did you come back or was you up here already? Because I see Miss Teresa's here.
Yeah, I was up here.
Okay. Okay. Did you want to go or can.
Just go ahead and say
Teresa,
what you
go.
got to say.
Wait, what?
You want to say it?
Oh, I was trying to be fair. Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to say that when it comes to Smeck's work, a lot of it happens not simply because of sexual liberation, but because of this capitalistic system we're under. If there was more resources, more access to healthcare and being able to have shelter and all of those things, I don't think that women would be signing up for Smeck's work. And that's just an opinion I have personally. I support it. I support women doing whatever they want to do and how they want to do it. Obviously, but my personal opinion, which doesn't matter holistically or overall, doesn't matter overall, is that I think that we could eliminate this oppressive capitalistic system and this, like somebody said, this dog eat dog world that we're operating under because of this scarcity and us not having things that we need and we have a right to have. If we could get that situated, I don't think that Smeck's work would even be something a lot of women would consider.
I don't either. And someone said to me, and this like stuck with me when just a discussion about Schmeck's work. They said, "What other job can you think of where if somebody took a photo of you while doing that job, that could serve as blackmail for something else? That could serve as like a way to, like, if you showed it to your family members, they would never speak to you again. Like there's very few jobs that, like, if you take a picture of somebody doing that job, it is like you can completely ruin their lives over, like, distributing that image. And so to me it's like that there is a difference there. Like, I mean, that to me just signifies that there's it's not, we can't just say that it's the same as everything else.
Hey, Teresa.
Hey y'all, how's everybody? Good, I hope. What's the difference between white tea men and black men? Well, on the political spectrum, in terms of how they feel about women, not much. Like, I really don't see anything at all that's different, except one group has more power than the other. And then one group is trying so desperately to emulate the other one that they're crushing black women underneath them. So there's that, I suppose. On an interpersonal level, there's more of one group than the other. And if you're a person that partners with men and you're looking for someone who is an appropriate partner, it can be just a numbers game and there's just more to choose from. And I think better odds that you'll get something that's worthwhile to you. That's been my experience in that realm. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. White tea men are not safer. They're not any safer. Don't get it twisted. It's not going to be, roses and rainbows and, you're not going to be, living on Wisteria Lane in your dream home or whatever. There's just more of them. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you heard about it, what we were saying earlier, but essentially, not only are they not much different, they hide behind black men when it comes to like the fact that black men, because they're hyper masculinized, can say certain things and just it's generally like, okay, this is something they said. Like people hold this belief like, oh, his demographic men they're horrible. They're just they're deplorable. But like at the same time, the white men have those same views. They're just not just saying it out loud.
Exactly. The misogyny is quieter with the white tea men, but it comes out eventually. And you would think, and I think also the reason why it's quieter is because, particularly if you're a black woman, they don't see you as a threat quite as much. But then when you get into a situation with them and they realize you could be a threat, you'll see it. You will absolutely see the misogyny when your career starts going better. It doesn't even have to be as good as theirs, not even close to good as theirs. But suddenly there'll be a shift in attitude when they realize, oh shit, she could leave me. she has a steady job now. She doesn't have to be here if she doesn't want to be. And then suddenly the temperature in the relationship changes.
But I think that also is it shows up with like, I always just think about how the hierarchy is, even with hegemonic masculinity, right? Like, if you are a YT man who is well established, you have money, you have assets, you have all the things, the wife, the kids, all the things, right? You perform masculinity different from a YT man who is who is impoverished, who, ended up, having to do something crazy to get money, or either they had to work themselves up, like had to work really, really hard to get to have just a small piece of what the YT man who's at the top has. You see them also perform hypermasculinity as well. I think that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just waiting for you to be finished. I was gonna say that too. Yeah, there's actually a study I found on that it was called like the push-up study or something, and they figured out that you'll flex your masculinity harder when there's also the threat of racial discrimination. So I forget exactly how they did the study, but they created a situation where like the discrimination like reared its head and the black men did more push-ups than the white men did in the study, because that was the metric they were using. And so because the threat of racial discrimination on top of the protecting your fragile masculinity is present, they masculine even harder than the white men do. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like, yeah, it's that hyper masculinity.
And they play into some of the stereotypes that of the Jim Crow era. Or no, I'm sorry, that was way before. All the stereotypes, like they have the stereotypes for when black women with like the sapphire, the mammy, all those things. And I forget what the stereotype is for the hyper masculine black man. I forget it, but
is it
it's like
or something?
Black men. What is it?
You have
what you say, KJ? Yeah.
The black, you have I was saying the first one is Sambo, who is the tap dancer, do everything for white tea men's approval. And then you have the buck. The buck,
Yeah.
But they have another name for it.
It's another name for it. But y'all on the same page as me, so they I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna look in a minute when I land my plane. But yeah, so they and it's ironic because it's like that's the stereotype, but black men often like jump to perform it because they have to try to be masculine. They have to try to be a man. So they jump to do it. But that's also the point that I was going to make to sum all of it up is this is why you have the beat cop or the CO who is trying to they do so much and they operate in this hyper masculinity because they do not have the same access as their more affluent whiter counterparts, whiter counterparts. And then you have some that do go into criminal activity. I'm not crazy, of course. Matter of fact, a lot of times they do criminal activity regardless. Like, it doesn't even matter where they fall. They do the criminal activity. It's just like an extra, it's like extra seasoning. They don't want to season nothing else, but they'll use criminality to add to it. But to my point earlier, it's always interesting when you have this performance of hypermasculinity in like the beat cop, and then you have this performance of hypermasculinity in the candy lord, in the black man in the community who is wanting to emulate the Rockefeller or these rich affluent men that they see on TV. They want to attain that money and that fame or whatever it is, and they do it by terrorizing the community, and they run into each other. I always get entertained by that. I do not care. I am not mincing my words. I do not have a problem with monsters running into each other, and I often make this statement to the guys in my class. Sometimes there's someone who is just as monstrous as you. They just was scared to pick up a pew-pew, but they wasn't scared to pick up a pen and go to law school, and now they're the judge. So when you come in their courtroom, they throw the book at you, and it's something funny about that. I always say that, and I don't have an issue with how it sounds, because the truth is the truth. Let them tell it. Facts don't have feelings. So the fact is, sometimes they run into a version of themselves, and I don't care how it goes. Sometimes the officer meets their match too. I don't care. I just think that when you're doing that hyper masculine thing and you don't care who you harm, I don't care if y'all implode on each other. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, like look at that family, that multi-billionaire, super mega filthy rich family that produced OxyContin, right? And how many people unalived from that? And all they had to do,
The Sackler family.
Sackler, yeah, and all they had to do was like pay a fine that really amounted to like very little in terms of their total net worth. And like they were probably the most harmful candy dealer there was, right? In terms of like the level of harm that they perpetuated. And they just had to pay a small fine, and that was it.
Oh, I do have one difference though. And KJR, maybe I'm curious to know if you and Summer agree with me, think this is true. And this reminded me of what you were just saying, Drika, about like the judge will get his back, because that's how he gets, the power, and he can lord over the black guy. I think that white men take education more seriously than black men do. It seems like they do. I don't know. Am I crazy, or is everybody any of us find that to be true?
Nope, not
it's
all
a
the
class
time,
thing.
but sometimes.
The middle class, well, the upper middle class, and upper middle class and wealthy ones do. Not the middle so much anymore, and not the poors.
Yeah, like I'm talking middle class. That's how I grew up. So like middle class.
Oh, okay. I would say yeah, but I was thinking the rich, like, even though they gotta get it, they don't take it that seriously, all of them. Like, you can just, float your way through and get but yeah, the middle, I don't know anymore because I'm not around very many white people anymore. I don't know what y'all think.
I noticed that like all my cousins and the black kids I knew from outside my community, because my community was mostly white, they seemed to take education seriously in a way that my cousins didn't. They didn't seem to, my male cousins, they just did not seem to take it seriously. And I know that the white men have privilege, so they can get into the fancy colleges. They might not work very hard when they get there, but they see the value of going. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? 20 years ago, though, that's when I was more in white communities in Washington State. Middle class people around me, the white boys definitely took it more seriously. They expected to go, at least half of them. A lot of them were military families, so some of them were like, oh, I'm going to do something else. But the black ones, like 3 of them, like we put it on the wall. Who's all going to college? What you're doing? Who's going to military? It was maybe 3 black. It wasn't that many anyway. Who were going, and like most of them hadn't even considered it as a possibility. They're middle class. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was my experience, and that's I just feel like when you talk to, like, there's no way of telling someone's class when you talk to someone on this app. You can, however, tell their level of education and the degree, and usually the men I talk to on these panels, they're usually black men. I'd say it's like 80-20. It's like 80% black men, 20% whitey men, and the occasional Hispanic man, and just the lack of basic comprehension, vocabulary, logic, knowledge of history. It's just, it was shockingly bad. Like, I'm every day I'm more and more, I'm floored by it. Once I feel like I've hit the floor of how low it can go, the next live goes lower. Like, I'm shocked again. And again, I don't know, you can't tell someone's class by how, when they present on a panel, but it's just, I'm concerned, like, about that. I think someone should be seeing to that.
I have a question for y'all. Why do y'all think YT men have a higher hold education to a higher regard? What do you think, like, the underlying reason for that is? Do you think they just naturally want to know things, or could it be something?
No, I think it's racism, because boys don't consider education masculine generally, and because black men's masculinity is more under threat, they have to flex it harder, as we were talking before. So maybe that might have something to do with it.
I'm going to go ahead and cut in and say that I don't think that the boys or men are entering education for education's sake. It is understood that when you are in the halls of academia, that's where you are going to meet the people who are going to give you a leg up. So you are not going to school because you wish to learn a skill. You are going to school because you get to meet so-and-so's son and so-and-so's father, an intern here. It is a way to get up and get opportunity because you are now in proximity with the people who have power. So I don't think they are going in there because they value education. They value the networking. And so as a black male, you are not going to be able to get the same amount of bang for your buck when it comes to networking in those spaces. So they're not likely going to find education as valuable, because a lot of these dudes like come out of Ivy Leagues and high level schools and like the business schools and everything. And then when you speak to them, they might have a little bit more elocution. They might have a little bit more control of their vocabulary, but they are still dumb AF. So I don't think they're valuing the education. I'm thinking they're valuing where they're going and what that will mean for them in the future.
Exactly. It's about power and proximity. That's all it is. Go ahead, Prince. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if they truly valued, like, education, there would be more men in teaching and, like, learning how to teach and certifications for teaching and in the humanities than there are for STEM or political science or psychology. It's like they only want to have higher education as a means to better improve their manipulation of the system they created.
That sounds much more plausible. Yeah, I think that's the explanation. I agree.
I mean, even look at how, like, because a lot of the kids I grew up with were, like, rich kids. And even the private schools they sent their kids to, it wasn't about whether or not their kid would get a good education. It was whose kid actually went there. So you had the kids who went to one school because the Kennedys were there, and the parents wanted to be in politics, but they also wanted to be able to get their kids up on the Hill. And then you had the ones that sent their, kids to the other private school because, DuPont kids went there, Marriott kids went there, This, so they wanted to get into business. So it was literally utilizing their kids to allow them to make the connections. And so their kids see that and say, oh, yeah, let me do the same thing with my kids and let me make sure I do that too. Even when you're talking about them, like when Summer brought up the military families, of course, they pushed the education because they saw, okay, well, this officer got this because he had this. So I'm going to make sure my kid gets this. So he's connected to these people, but also I have this connect. And it's all about networking and maintaining basically trying to push themselves up in class. Once you get to like the super wealthy, their kids, it's not, again, they go to college because their parents say they have to, not because they actually want to go or they give a shit about what they're doing. They're literally going because, oh, I'm going to meet my future wife because her dad is, Bill Gates or this person. And we're going to make sure our son does this. We're going to make sure our son does that. And that's how they play the game. But Black men, because often when we do have upper class Black people, no hate, a lot of them are very, very guarded and they're not trying to pull other people up. They're trying to maintain the exclusivity.
Yeah, and also don't forget, sometimes they be paying for them grades too. And then there's also certain biases, even in the classroom with the professors and the way they interact with them. Hey, Shawnee, did you want to come up and respond to what was being said?
Yeah, that's mainly why I came up here. When I typically like hear men talk about like, why they don't like education, they don't really outright, value education. They don't really outright say it. They just disguise it under like a bunch of, oh, college is a scam rhetoric. And I noticed the thing about men who say that, they hype up, trade school. That's like the first thing that come out of their mouth. They hype up trade school, but then they never be enrolled in trade schools. When I be asking them like, oh, what are you studying for? Like, what kind of occupation are you trying to do? And they never can answer because they don't be enrolled in the first place, which lets me know like they don't value education as a whole. They just try to disguise it under like college is a scam. And they say it in a way to like, I guess like they're like directing jabs towards, women that did go to school and that do have a degree, especially because we're outpacing men with higher education. So they kind of do it as like a dig towards like educated women as well. And then I hear a lot of men say like, oh, well, I see no point of like going to school because they want this like instant return on like ROI attending school, and they feel like going, they're not going to get it. That's why these same men who also say college is a scam, they love hyping up and glamorizing entrepreneurship as well. And I done came to the conclusion that men that kind of are very hyper fixated on it, like I feel like you liking entrepreneurship is also rooted in anti-intellectualism because you think entrepreneurship is some get rich quick scheme. So that's your other alternative to like, I don't value education. I'd rather just start a business. But most of the time when y'all be starting businesses, it be involving y'all scamming people. It don't actually involve y'all providing an actual service like consulting or like you selling a product. It's always some like get rich quick scheme. And I noticed it a lot with like y'all try to use digital, try to sell products and try to position it under like digital marketing, and nothing that you do is related to that. And this is coming from somebody that went to school. I got a fashion marketing associates, and then I got a bachelor's in like communications. So like nothing that y'all be doing it really be in relation to digital marketing. It's just you trying to scam people by promising them to make passive income, and nothing you doing is involving digital marketing. And it's not involving you doing email marketing. You're not doing no type of social media management. Like you're not doing anything in relation to that. So like, I think that plays like a big part. They want like this instant gratification that they feel like they're not getting from school. And I have to tell people like going to like undergrad, it was more than just like me sitting in lecture class, taking notes and going back to my like apartment. Like you were on campus to like get involved in extracurricular activities to like build your portfolio and to connect with other people. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing in undergrad. And it
And
says so much about like their like they have this misconception of like what college really consists of, and that's why they feel like, oh, it's a waste of time because why am I just sit in a class and listen to somebody talk to me for like an hour and 15 minutes and then go back home. But it's like you're supposed to be utilizing the resources on your campus while you're there during your
but you
undergrad
know what it
years.
also is? It's the fact that their last experiences were like in high school, and for a lot of people, that wasn't a pleasurable experience. They're thinking, oh, why would I extend it to go to college? And a lot of times, people don't realize college is totally different. Like even like it's totally different in a lot of different ways. But go ahead, Shawnee, you can finish up, and then Jalen, you can chime in.
So yeah, that's why I kind of like disregard them even saying like college is a scam. And I don't know, this may be my own like experience kicking in because like not only was I very involved in extracurriculars on campus, like I was also involved in stuff outside of campus. Like I had stuff going on that wasn't even related to school. I had outside connections based on other organizations that I got involved with. So it's like I feel like I use like I went to school and I used my degree and I can tell y'all all the soft skills that I developed in school. It wasn't just me like going to lecture. Like I was literally I would say a good chunk of the work that I did in college would be work that I would do for an actual client, like projects that I worked on. It would be stuff that I would actually perform and do for an actual client that would hire me to do, whether it's like social media management or like email marketing or project management. Like I learned all those other soft skills. I also learned them while I was in school. So yeah, the it's just a very colleges scam. It's just a very passive aggressive way of men saying like they don't value education because those men typically they don't pursue anything else
Vanity.
after high school. Like they don't do a
Shawnee,
certification.
Shawnee, you got to
No,
wrap
no.
it up. I love what you're saying, but you going on for a little bit. Um, and we can come back to you if you still got something more to add. Go ahead, Jalen.
Hey, I would just like to say, as a black man who went to college, went to North Carolina A&T, a lot of it has to do with racism, and it's a deeper level of racism that y'all don't realize because a lot of it is for black men won't gain their power to lead their community. The FBI, a lot of it come back from the FBI trying to prevent a black messiah from happening. And
So,
same.
can you tell us what a Black Messiah is? No, I don't mean this right. Tell us what a explain to us the Black Messiah. I never heard of that before. That might be real deep. I ain't never heard that before. But go ahead. You muted, Jalen.
Sorry about that. The Black Messiah, in a sense, is a black man who will lead black people into liberation. That's the reason why the FBI did what they did to eliminate Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Fred Hampton, and other black men.
So
A
you
lot of
think
that.
so hold on, I just want to make sure I'm clear. And I'm just asking for clarification for the conversation. So, do you think black men not being able to go into college is being done on purpose? And because of that, like the Black Messiah is just a college degree away from being a Messiah? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's the Black Messiah is simply just a black man with knowledge. Knowledge to give his people more knowledge about things. And a lot of it is that to a certain point, it's like the old saying is, if you want to hide something from a black person, you put it in a book. Our black men labor is valued more than our smarts. whether it's how we are as athletes, the work we do when it's like on construction warehouses and stuff, or even to a candy salesman.
All right, hold up, because I saw your handprints, but I got one more question. Um, and what can Black women do to help support? Because like the Black community, we could use a Black Messiah. You cooking? Um, what can Black women do to help that happen?
What Black women could do, and this is what how they use y'all to keep it prevented, is y'all could show y'all value in those type of men. A lot of times, the Black men who get the most love from Black women are the athletes, the candy salesmen, those type of guy that constantly got fast money. You could take the balloon challenge as an example. It could be a guy in there who make good money from his smarts, and a lot of the women will say no and don't have no reason why they say no.
When you said Black women could pursue those type of guys, could you be more like specific? Because there's a lot of Black women in here, and it's important that they know who they're looking for.
Uh, to y'all have to put those men on a pedestal because
No. What type? Tell me about like the. How do I know? How do I know it's that man? What do I see in him? Like, oh, this could be the potential Messiah.
see, a lot of it is the guys who stay to themselves. A lot of those guys have the right mindset, have the right things. The thing is, they try to stay out the way because one, a lot of it have to do with trauma that the smarter guys may have felt growing up. Because a lot of times when a Black man shows smarts, he get labeled as a nerd.
So if he keeps to himself, right? How are we supposed to find him if he keeping to himself?
Well, it start with the early programming. That's why I mentioned how things are in school because
I'm
that's
not talking about the programming. Listen, you saying that Black women need to pursue those type of men. I asked you who they were. You like, oh, they the ones who stay to themselves. How are we supposed to find the men that stay to themselves? What are we supposed to do?
some of it is some of it is those guys who not normally y'all type, who sometimes y'all shun away because they're not y'all type.
You're not giving us the details. Like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get you to be specific. But sometimes we need specifics.
How can I say this? Like,
just say it to me.
It's
I can help you. I can help you. Are you that type?
Yeah.
All right, so can you tell us about you? That will help us out.
Like, a lot of times to come off as more popular and stuff, like growing up and stuff, I had to dumb myself down because me showing my smarts a lot of times, a lot of people will say, you're an asshole because you're trying to show you're smarter than people, or you think you're better because you're smarter. But the thing is, women don't get shamed as much as Black men when they show their smarts. And that's why I say y'all play a part because y'all do some of the shaming. And if a lot of what Black men do is predicated to pleasing our women, even though some of y'all may think we hate y'all and whatever, but everything we do is to gain y'all. And that's why I say if y'all show that y'all value smart men more rather than the rappers, the drug dealers, the athletes, then it will be more Black men that'll say that's the type of man I'm gonna try to be there.
So all right, let's. I just one more. So how can women, like, where y'all hanging out in? Like, cause you saying not those guys, right? Those are guys we see. Where y'all hanging out in? Where can we find y'all at?
Like
where you at right now? Are you outside?
Yeah, I'm outside.
Like, where can we find you outside?
Like, we do many different things. Like, it's not like those type of men are a monolith where it's like, oh.
No, that's why I said focus on yourself.
Like myself, like a lot of them do stuff like gaming, may do conventions and stuff, may be into fashion and stuff that the normal typical Black guy isn't into.
So where do you hang out?
Like me, I be like, I work a lot. I go out to bars sometime, but mostly I'm at the crib, chilling, just playing the game with my friends.
So when you go, where do you work at? What type of work do you do?
I I work in a appliance warehouse.
So is it a lot of men there?
Yeah,
So hold up, when you go to work, it's mostly men, right? And
yeah.
then when you home, you have your friends over, so it's mostly men.
Nah, we be playing online.
Yeah, but listen what I'm saying. How are we supposed to find y'all? If you at work with the men and you home with the men, how are we supposed to find y'all? Like where can we find you at?
That's what I was saying. Like, exercise, we go to the gym. Like I said, we go to bars and stuff. Like, we
So
do
go to
stuff
the
like
bars. So
we
hold
do
up.
normal stuff. It's just
I got it. So the 10% of the time when y'all go out. So we need to go to the bars and we need to go to the gym and wait for y'all. But go ahead, Prince. You got it.
Okay. First, there's a couple of points I want to tackle on, and I'm going to try to do this as calmly as possible. There will be no Black Messiah. There will never be a Black Messiah because that's the contract you made with white men to begin with. All right. You Black men have forfeited your right to lead anything when you sold your own women and children into slavery. And I'm not talking about the Europeans. I'm not only talking about the Europeans, I'm also talking about the ancient Arabia and Asia as well. When you sold us out, you sold your rights to lead. So you need to give up on that. It's never going to happen. No one's going to save you, Jalen. No one wants to save you. You need to learn how to save yourself. You need to take accountability. And honestly, the saying should be, if you want to hide something from a Black man, you put it in a book.
I never asked for savor.
Yeah, you do.
Well, hold
I
up, hold up,
didn't.
I'm asking for it right now.
hold up. Jalen, the Black Messiah. Can you explain to us why the Black Messiah has to be a man? Like, what's significant about the man?
A lot of it goes to religion by what God said with how things should be led. And that's why it's considered the Black Messiah, meaning
Why do you think God said that? Why do you think God said the man has to lead? What is God trying to tell us?
that men should be able to lead their people the right way. There's a
But
lot
why?
of
God.
But I'm trying to see, like, because I don't have the insight, so I'm trying to get the insight. Why does God feel like it has to be the man?
because in every species, men are the leaders. At the end of the day, because a lot of y'all probably won't like.
Hold on. How can you
Hold
lead
up, you got
anything?
queen
You
bees.
can't lead shit. You
Hold on,
sold your
hold on,
women and children into slavery.
man,
Relax. Take your
man.
feelings out of it.
Hold up, sorry. Hold up, man. Hold up. You're not answering the question because if I look at bees, the queen bee is not male, right? There's a lot of species where the leader is not the male. That's not true. So I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to feel like it's a facade, sir, because that wasn't true. Are you making this up or is this real?
This is real. It's real FBI
And
documents stating this.
why would you say all species if that's not true?
I didn't mean it in that sense. I'm more so meant to say every race of mankind. That probably would have been better.
Okay, so you means a different. But hold up. It's Shawnee and then you go KVR. I just want him if he could tell us the why. Like, why does God feel like it has to be a man? We just want to know. But you didn't
A
really
large
dig
part
into
of it is because all life begins with men. Y'all carry life, but all life begins with men.
Okay, all right, I got it. Go ahead, Shawnee. Go ahead.
I had one more. Oh, never mind.
Oh, I was just going to point something out. So you're talking about this Black Messiah. However, if you're saying the Bible and like God and stuff, the next Messiah is the Antichrist. So that would be leading us all to hell. If I'm just going to be straight biblical on the shit. The other aspect of it is that life does not begin with men at all. Like, ever.
We all started as a sperm cell, so how do we
No,
not?
that's not true. We all started as an egg. And
Yeah.
all embryos are female. Your background noise.
I don't know
Okay,
where
and
you at, but it don't sound safe. But go ahead.
all embryos start off female. They're all XX until there's a trip right around the,
But sperm is a living organism. You realize that?
So are eggs.
No, it's
So are
not.
eggs.
Sperm are not living organisms.
Eggs are actually living.
No, they're fertilizer.
Yeah.
So if you look at a, so if you look at a,
No, hold up. You can't do that, sir. You can't do that. Prince, you said you wanted to say something?
I did. I had one more point to make about he says that we need to be where they outside, where they at, but they're inside. They don't want women. They want to be They want to be with men. They don't care about women.
We want peace.
They don't do anything.
We want peace.
You want a dick down your throat. That's what you want. You want the holy peen to penetrate you in all orifices. Shut the hell up.
You shut the hell up, bitch.
Whoa.
Say that to my face.
And here we are.
Say that to my face.
Can I say something? Because I've been real demure today. I've been like real demure. Shout out to me for being demure. But how you gonna call this woman a bitch and you think you the Messiah? Like you
I never said I'm the.
Hold on, sir. You definitely think you the fucking Messiah, sir. Right? And this is the stupid shit y'all be fucking saying. You talking about you go to work, you be in a
So
fucking
I'm wrong.
Hold up, sir. You go to work and then you be in a fucking house and you want to figure out, well, where the women at? Bitch, you around niggas all day. If you love niggas, you love niggas. What the fuck? Why are you up here talking about, oh, they need to come find me. I go out sometimes. You are home.
I never said that.
You lack sir, I heard what you said. You lack social
never
skills.
said.
You lack social skills. And here you come talking about some fucking black Messiah.
You
like, take your dumb ass. Where you going on the highway? Instead of going to the gym, take a U-turn and register for a fucking school, sir. Like, you ain't doing shit but sitting in the house playing video games and go to work. And you want a woman to just walk some pussy in your face? What the fuck? That's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. You're a dumbass. You're not a Messiah. Nobody's looking to you.
You a bitter bitch.
No, you know what? I am bitter.
Yeah.
You're right. I am fucking bitter. And that is very valid that I'm fucking bitter. Yeah. Dumbasses like you walking on the side of the fucking highway on here talking about some fucking black Messiah.
You lonely.
No, I'm not. You're lonely, sir. I'm up here with my friends. You're the lonely one.
Tara.
On the side of the fucking highway. The fuck?
Tara,
you're the lonely bitch.
Notice how quick the misogyny came out when he was calmly challenged. Calmly. No one yelled at him. No one got aggressive. But the minute he was challenged, we weren't accepting his delusions. The misogyny, the aggressiveness, the anger comes out every single time with these dudes.
See, I was before y'all dropped him. I was gonna ask him. He said all of that. He said all of what he said just to revert it back to relationships. Like, don't nobody want me, and that's why I don't do X, Y, Z. So I feel like he would have crashed out if I would have brought it back to like y'all lack the range to really have conversations because y'all always bring it back to who you want to hunch on and being in relationships and dating. And I find that very weird that you said all of that just to bring it back to, men act the way they do because women aren't paying attention to them and they don't like smart men. When most women who are college educated, they typically be partnered with a man who is also college educated. But he would know that, and it's very clear he don't know shit. But he came up here and showed his ass they always come up here and they show their ass per usual. I was waiting for him to eventually crash out.
Me too, Shawnee, me too.
It to happen. I was waiting. I knew it was gonna happen. I was just waiting for y'all to like keep pressing him. I knew it was gonna come out eventually.
Quick, y'all. I'm just getting home and I'm a mute after that. Then I'm gonna take y'all in the shower with me. Anyway, I was catching the tail end of his little whatever that was, and I was about to get up on here and say, bruh, can you back up off your mic? I have condensation on my motherfucking phone. It was moist and nasty sounding. He was breathing. He was like, and it was, y'all didn't hear that?
I heard it.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
disgusting. It was
sounding all like a
so
moist ass
gross.
Darth Vader. It was nasty. It was nasty. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna be listening to y'all. All right, bye.
Straight Musa nigga. Like, straight up Musa nigga. Like, why are you breathing so hard?
I want to point something
Because he
out.
knows he's a liar.
I'm eating lunch, so y'all bear with me. I'm eating lunch. If y'all can let that nigga breathe heavy and be on a bike on the side of the road, y'all can let me eat and smack in y'all ear. Because that was crazy. I ain't even deserved it. I ain't even did nothing to y'all.
Honestly, you eating lunch is probably the most pleasant thing I've heard so far compared to
You know
that.
what? I love
It's a lunch
y'all.
away.
I love y'all the long way, but I had wrote some notes down because I'm demure too. And I don't interrupt and I don't crash out on people's panels. So I wrote a note down. Did y'all notice when he said that he do different things or men like him do different things than a normal typical black guy? And that goes to the point that I think Vanity or somebody made earlier. A lot of times these men be the biggest misandrists. Cause not you. Why it's okay for you to say that most black men are candy dealers and criminals? That's interesting. You different. You different. And we be looking past the few different ones to run to the normal ones, the ones that are typical, the ones that we, that are plentiful. I thought that was interesting. Then he was saying that he was implying that black men need to be worshipped. And his comparison was that we worship these, candy dealers, and that we should be worshiping the more, smart guys more. And regardless of what he was saying in the separation, the moral of his story and the main point he was trying to make is that black men need to be worshiped. And when I hear that, I think of like him saying Messiah and all of those terms. They want to have this God-like thing with it. It's like this guy, like I'm God and I'm we're the real guys, and they, the YT man is holding us down. It was very much that energy. But most of y'all clocked his foolishness. Like, I mean, he was just seriously up here. Like, he thought he was talking to some dumb people. He honestly thought that he was going to fool us with thinking that he's educated. He wants us to believe he's an educated man. Like, did you get your education in a prison? Because you sound like a prison educated man, for sure. That's what you sound like. But, as far as you being like, truly understanding a true intellect, no. And you can't fool us with that foolishness. When you start talking about a Messiah, I don't know. It was just so interesting hearing it play out. And I just hope that y'all was clocking some of the stuff. I know y'all clocked the main thing, but I was just hoping y'all clock how black men view black men. And they defend, but they also separate themselves from what they believe is the majority of black men, which is criminals and convicts. It's interesting.
He sounded like a pygmy. Like, this goes back to one of Tara's prompts. Like, they are not beating the allegations of being pygmies, because he's sitting here acting like him being a gamer. Like, they always bring up gaming and anime. Like, those are very, like, unique interests. Like, dude, I play video games. Like, what are you talking about? Like, y'all be sitting here talking about, like, oh, women don't pay attention to me because like I play video games, but like when women do try to connect with you based on that common interest, what the hell y'all start doing? Y'all start questioning women about the said video game that y'all are connecting about. Y'all try to like question women to try to clock them and make it seem like, oh, well, you don't really play this game because you don't know this individual certain particular fact about this game. So it's like y'all be on bullshit, and then y'all try to make it seem like, oh, I can't connect with women, but that misogyny be kicking in. That's why you can't connect with women, because you don't care about connecting with women, even the ones that do have common interests that y'all be deeming as masculine, and women partake in that. Y'all be spewing the most misogyny the most onto like women gamers. They talk about that stuff all the time. So it's like when he started saying it, I immediately clocked it. And I'm saying this, like I said, somebody that do play video games. It's easy to clock that stuff.
I was just going to say that the way that they talk to women when they game online, like virtually, you can hear their voices. Like they've done studies where they had a bunch of male gamers play with like female looking avatars and female sounding names, and they like digitize their voice to make their voice sound female. And they were totally unaware of just the level of violent, horrible misogyny that online gamers direct towards female online gamers. It is like, I mean, I thought I'd heard it all. It's shocking even for me when I heard some of that. So when we try to go into those spaces, just like Shani said, like we're questioned, we're disrespected, we're just like, because those are still considered male spaces from those those gaming men. And also, furthermore, like I've never dated a non-nerd. Like every single dude I've dated, black and white, falls somewhere squarely into the nerd category in some fashion or another. My first serious boyfriend was a doctor. Like, I mean, just bro, whatever.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, the shit he was saying wasn't making sense. Because it's like, I'm like, how do you think women are supposed to find you? Is this what you believe in your mind? Like, where do you think you think, oh, when you go out on a random Saturday, she's supposed to be sitting there waiting for you? And it's very telling, oh, they just go for the other men. So here you go with the self-loathing, the victimization. Oh, women just don't see me, but I'm the fucking messiah. Like, if it was a narc, that's the fucking narc. But like, I'm the fucking messiah and she don't want me or whatever and all this bullshit. Like, it's like, you got some deep-rooted issues. A lot of times these dudes got gaming addiction because they got some underlying issues that they're not addressing, and they go to the games for escapism. Like, you're a deplorable fucking human being. Don't nobody want to be with you. Like,
Thanks. Like, let's just be so for real. They always sit there and pretend that the shit has to do with, oh, it's because I was smart and I was nerdy and the girls, they didn't like. No, it's because your ass was annoying and weird and creepy. You mouth breathed all over the back of her head with your stank ass breath. You didn't wash yourself. You smelled. You wore the same outfit every effing day. You did weird shit in people's faces. You followed one girl around for a month. That is why your ass was like that. That's why no one liked you.
And sometimes they're worse KGR.
No, I was trying to. Oh, I got it. It's fine.
Sometimes they're worse KGR because they're being bullied and not being desired by the girls in high school. When they become adults, sometimes they become even more vicious than the regular guys.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. They're like, the fact he had the balls to come up here and say the FBI trying to stop the Black Messiah from leading our people to freedom.
Sir, you are not Fred Hampton. Like, come on.
No. How about this shit? You ain't Harriet fucking Tubman. What did you talking about?
I know, sir. Like, come on
It's
now.
like you can't lead people into freedom if you sold us into slavery in the first place. Like, you can't lead us into something you put us in.
Y'all want to clock
You can't lead us out of it.
Wait, I need y'all help to clock something. You ate with that, Prince. And Teresa, see, not y'all be in my head sometime. Anywho, I want us to clock something. I'm gonna need help. So this is when we think about the prompt, right? And we think about how masculinity operates, right? And we know it's a box. Like, you have to fit in that box to be acceptable as a man under the patriarchy. But then y'all also are saying that, like, the gaming world is also hyper misogynistic, and they are just disrespectful and disgusting. And I heard Therese say that sometimes they're even more disgusting, right? And if you compare that to us talking about where black men fall in that, sometimes they're a little bit more hyper masculine because they don't have the quote unquote power and poor men, all those things. Is it possible that because there's no way to keep all of these people in this box, right? They're all affected by what patriarchy is, but you can't, there's just too many men to try to put in a box of those 4 components, and a whole lot of factors play into it. So they move the goalposts, right? So you have like the gaming world that right now is kind of more acceptable, but they're just as misogynistic as, you know, the cool kids would be, like the jocks and the athletes and all of those things. Like, is it that they're moving the goalposts? And the other thing I wanted to mention is that oh shit, did it escape me? Give me a sec. Let me see. Let me find it. Oh, and to the point about somebody saying in high school they were being picked on by, you know, the women. They forgot that the men were picking on them. Them not fitting in with what a man is and being into games instead of playing football, their trauma will be more so from those men than it would be from the women. Like, a lot of times women would be at least like pleasant. It wouldn't be until they started really, really being weird, to what KJR was saying about the following behind somebody 3 days. But regardless, let's say it was even. Why do they forget that men were terrorizing them and giving them the wedgies and the wet willies? Like, why are they bypassing that if it's not because they are moving the goalpost of manhood, but they're still trying to uphold it? What y'all think?
Exactly.
I agree. Because you made a very good point. They never bring up, like I said, they have all the energy for like a woman simply not being interested in them in high school. Like, they think that had more of a bigger impact on them than the actual boys that they went to school with, who was actually physically harming them. They think a woman rejecting them and not being interested, they think it's the equivalent. That's why I be talking about when men try to bring up like how women, what they think oppression is. They try to equate like a man really like beating them up to like, and a woman rejecting them. They equate it to like, they think that's the same. They think that's a form of oppression. A woman not even wanting to talk to him, they think of that as oppression. They really think like it's affecting their day-to-day life. They really think it's affecting them getting jobs. They think it's affecting every aspect of their life, but not the men that really be talking to them crazy. And that includes their own friends. That's why they never have the energy to like clock their friends on stuff, but they be quick to like buck up to a woman who's making a valid point. Hence what we saw just now on the panel. You start making valid points, and men want to start throwing insults at you, but they'll let a man disrespect them in their face and won't say anything.
Oh,
So
man.
real quick,
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Tara.
shout out to Mia. She be in the background putting shit together. And I agree with you. And the crazy part is, not only do they forget that the boys were the one who bullied them, they forget that them girls that they feel like rejected them didn't even know they existed. Like, cause they're not talking about, cause like you have some weird ass kids, just like you got weird ass little boys, you got weird ass little girls, but they didn't want the weird ass little girls. They wanted the girl the popular boy had, and they mad because she wasn't looking at them, and they fabricated a whole life outside of people. It's very parasocial. She didn't know you, she didn't reject you. Like, who the fuck is you? You're just a weirdo.
So true. So it's funny. It's so funny with it ain't funny how, like, I'm really stressed about it. But Shawnee just made a great point. Because one of my students was upset, had to get in trouble because he was upset and he decided to get personal with me because he was mad that to him it sounded like I discriminated against excuse me. He was saying that I discriminated against dating candy dealers and hustlers. So he was asking me personal questions about what type of men I liked, which is so inappropriate. Nothing to do with the conversation, might I add. I don't think I need to tell y'all that. I'm sure y'all know. anybody who knows me know I am not personal. So y'all have to know in my career, I'm not fucking personal. And those who know what I do, you know damn well I wouldn't be personal in that regard. There is no way I will be having a conversation with a classroom full of sick, disgusting monsters telling them what type of man I like when that ain't even fully my sexual orientation. But anyway, I done got upset. But the point is, he was getting in my business because he was fantasizing and creating a story in his mind, and he felt like I was discriminating against candy dealers and hustlers, and he wanted to check me. And I think that that just goes into how disgusting they think. And it's not about women being mean or nasty. It's simply about how dare you not want me. I don't know you, sir. I'm here to pump gas, sir. I didn't know you existed. Sorry that I'm not available. Sorry that I don't like you. But to them, they do not care. They walk through this world thinking that they deserve whatever they want. No matter what type of man it is, it could be a bum on the street. They feel like they deserve whatever they want. And that is akin to, and well, I don't want to say it's akin to because we're talking about all men, but all men think that way. No matter if they're white, black, like the YT people say, no matter if they're white, black, blue, or orange, they all think the same way. And that's crazy and scary.
And that's why I said like I don't really like, you can tell like they lack the range for these conversations. And they actively prove in real time like why they need to decenter women, because they always bring they don't know how to talk about things that is happening in society. They don't know how to talk about it on a societal level, because for some, always, like I said, they always bring it back to like women and having relations with women. And I just find that very strange that they are not able to reflect on that. Like, why do you equate societal problems? You equate it back to like, well, women didn't want to like be in a relationship with me. And I brought this up before about like these parasocial relationships that men form with women on social media. Like they're so delusional, they will literally cook up an entire relationship with a woman who don't even know he exists. He will actually believe like him and that woman go together real bad. And that's very deranged behavior that they partake in. And I just hate that they have resentment towards women who don't even know they exist. Like, you don't even go out of your way to talk to women for them to acknowledge you. But you want to sit here and blame somebody for not giving you attention when you sitting there in the corner, you at an event and you standing in the corner being a weirdo with a drink in your hand, and you ain't talking to nobody, but you want somebody in the same breath to acknowledge you. Make it make sense. And I think that's where like also that disconnect come in, where like why men even want to have a social life in the first place compared to women. They always revolve it back around to like, oh, I only go out to talk to women. They don't go out to actually like make friends and practice their social skills. They don't do none of that.
Low key, those men are looking for their own holy peen as well. That magical peen is going to solve all their problems.
I hope
By the
y'all
way,
got this.
Tara, are you gonna make are you gonna
No, I
make a
can't
holy
make that
peen
sticker,
sticker?
but I hope y'all saw the. For those who y'all, I hope y'all got a chance to see the holy peen, because that's what I think it looked like. Because nobody could present it to me, I had to make my own. Just saying.
You making that is crazy, Tara. I saw it and I was like, why is it glistening like that? That's crazy.
It's holy. It's a holy peen.
It's
It's
200. You know
divine
what?
sweat.
200 on your head, Tara. 200 on your head for even making that.
It's divine sweat. It's the Holy
I don't
Spirit.
think we gotta worship it.
I looked at that. I was like, Tara, please. Tara, please.
But that's why I like to start, this live with a prayer, because we gotta worship it. But Tara be hating. She be like wishy washy. She be up and down. She be hot and cold.
You're not gonna come for me.
I was
No,
rhyming.
thanks for subscribing, Teresa. What you're not gonna do is come for
Wait a
me
minute.
Hold up, Drika,
Uh-uh.
Mia, whatever your name is. You're not gonna
No, drop
recently.
me. Drop me. No,
I
I'm playing.
know. I'm not dropping nobody. I don't. I ain't dropping nobody.
What if the holy peen is actually like a very divine dildo?
Huh? You said what?
The holy peen is actually a divine dildo. That's why we can't find it in nature. We have to make it.
Well, apparently the whole. Let me tell y'all what's so special about the holy peen. That the holy peen can make babies on its own. It don't. I mean, it needs a womb, but for some reason it can also make babies. It don't make sense, but I don't know.
Can
I
I ask
want
a question?
to.
Macy.
Has anybody else, that argument he gave that, life, that men are in charge of creating life or something, I've noticed lately he's like the third guy that has made that argument on a live in the last week that I've been on. Like they must have heard some red pill guy give a counter to
No, I
the
have the
women create
answer.
life.
Hold
Where did
up,
that come from?
Teresa. Oh, Teresa, hold up, Teresa, because you missed the live the other day. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
where
it
it
was
come
Tara's
from.
fault.
But go
Where does
ahead.
it come from? Oh,
Let me.
absolutely. I'm so curious.
Oh, we know exactly where it comes.
Do we? Because I think from no, because
I think it was Tara's live that started this.
I think
The
Tara's
one
life.
about the womb envy.
No. Because I heard. Let me tell y'all. Yay, y'all bear with me. Hold my hand when I say this. But this is my opinion. I think that a lot of times there's a conversation about if, like, with prison culture, if it is prison culture happens because of men in prison emulating what men do in the world, or if it's the other way around. And if you believe the idea that a lot of times prison culture influences what goes on in the world because it's so hyper masculine in there, then you would know that where I first started hearing about men are, the seed, and them life happens first with them ejaculating, is from men who have been incarcerated and men who are incarcerated. Now, I'm telling you, the prison education is a motherfucker, because a lot of men wouldn't be educated even the slightest if they wouldn't be set down and sat still. So I'm not saying that I'm right, because I know I'm like really, really like overwhelmed in the criminal justice world. Like it consumes me, but that's what I think. That's how I think it happened.
Oh, so y'all just talking about the talking point.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the seed part I get from, like, that's like the biblical, a lot of Bible guys say that. But the whole, like, turning it around to, like, men are the source of life, that's a new talking point I've only heard in the last few days.
Okay, so Unaliver Mike, and when they met with RFK Jr., he had a dude on there. This was months ago. We were in Storytellers Live, and the nigga said, "Women just give birth, men give life."
Oh, that's where I knew it was like a podcast, a YouTube thing, because they just pick up the stuff from them, the internet and from the podcast, and they just repeat it on these lives. Like everything they say is a talking point from there.
So then that validates my wait, KGR. That validates. Oh, my bad, Benny. Hold on. That validates my point really quickly, because Unalive Mike run around with formerly incarcerated men. If he not himself, I'm not sure. What am I right?
He's not, but he almost went to prison, but that's all he hangs with, because he was a candy dealer.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Benny.
So
sorry.
I came up so you guys to give just like a truncated history of where that talking point came from and why you are hearing it now. Okay. So at some point in time after Jim Crow in like the 70s or wherever the case may be and everything, a lot of the black nationalist, black power movement type men, they started making up their own versions of Islam and Judaism and various combinations thereof. This is where we get Imam Isa, the guy who built the pyramids down in Atlanta, also known as Malachi Z. York, is the teacher of Polite, the whole 3PDO crew, the Nation of Islam, the Hebrew Israelites, the whole entire, all those sects. One of the things that all of those sects have in common is that they do believe that the seed of life, life in general, comes one from men in general and the black men in particular, because quote unquote he's the first man. Never mind that the first person to be a person was black and a woman. So this thing started going around through a lot of like the underground sects. So you're talking about the 5%ers, the Nation of Islam, the Hebrew Israelites, what do you call it, the Nuwapians, all these different groups, but all of them, because they are like cognates of each other, like they branch off from like each one. These are the talking points they took forward. Now, back in like Reconstruction era, somebody said, in order to restore the dignity of the black man, in order to keep the black family, quote unquote, together, whatever the case may be, we have to put like the black man above. And so it was something that was said in churches and everything else, where they made it a thing that the main thing was to restore the dignity of black men. And so this is why you get the pick-me's today. This is why you get the what stays in this happens in this house stays in this house. All that trickles down from this. And being that it was started in the churches, this is how it got that religious thing. So they honestly believe that they have a they're pew-pewing whole entire mini humans into a woman, and she's just incubating said human. And so this is something, because so many of these people pass on their religions through prison culture. This is why a lot of them, they never knew anything about religion and never knew anything about any kind of education. They go into jail, they learn how to read a Bible, a Quran, whatever the pamphlets that they are printing, and the 48 Laws of Power. And so they come out talking about, the whole Messiah thing and everything. 5% is all of them. And so because prison culture is also hip hop culture, it permeated through that as well. This is why you have idiots like Akon talking about all you have to do is, drop a seed into an incubator. You don't even need a woman. You get a whole entire human. Never mind the fact that women provide 70% of the DNA that is required to make a human, but that's neither here nor there. So the reason why you are hearing this is because now that the whole red pillion thing is happening, one of the ways that the black men make the red pillionism their own is by adding in their pseudo-religious NOI, Hebrew Israelite, 5%, et cetera, mixed into the batter that was already 1980s Heritage Foundation founded red pillionism from the 80s. And they just like mix in, their own special batch of misogyny. It's like, everybody was marching on one accord, but they decided they wanted to make their march funky, that kind of thing. And this is the reason why you're hearing it, because right now, as the red pillion thing is growing, and there's getting ready to be a woman of color, a black woman in particular, who's about to be president, they are getting even like their radicalization and their whole spiral into like hyper religiosity and everything is increasing at such a speed, because they're now like, holy crap, we can't have a black woman lead us and everything. And so one of their ways of down talking and downplaying is this whole entire new religiosity, where they now believe that, that they are the seed and everything. A lot of the newfound Christians are picking up, a lot of newfound Muslims are picking up. And so you are going to be hearing this one a lot, especially since even if Kamala wins, they will still be pushing forward with Agenda 2025. They're going to push it back and make it another year, or 4 years, or whatever the case may be. So that is why you are hearing all of that.
The two men I heard it from were Hebrew Israelites. So that makes sense. That totally tracks. Thank you, Vanity, for that explanation.
Yeah, I also wanted to add a little bit to Vanity's cooking, just a little bit, some salt and pepper. Also, like during I think it was the 13th century, when monks were discovering how to make champagne and beer, they were also looking at their own splooge under microphones and mistaking the sperm cells for little babies being inside it. So it also came from it, like that also helped in it as well. All in all, it comes from the prison system and from the religious system.
Woo, y'all know I'm happy. Y'all know go ahead, Therese, my bad.
No, I was going to say, yeah, because there were microscopes during that time that could actually see that yeah, you could see a swimming sperm cell, and absent any other information, it's very easy for, misogynistic religious men to come to the conclusion, then we must be the source of life. The end. Put it in a book.
Especially when they're fighting logic. Yeah, of course they're gonna see it. They were literally looking for something to prove that men are the power and men are supposed to be the leaders and all those good things. But I feel so validated. I'm so happy because all this hard work, all these thoughts, all the shit I gotta deal with. I knew I was right when I be saying the stuff I be saying about either they were an inmate, they are an inmate, or they will be. That shit tracks. I don't give a damn. I just feel validated. But to that point, then with that being said, then the men's are the biggest A-beers because they love to talk about how black women specifically unalive more black boys than they could ever do with the crime that they commit. If what you're saying is true, Mr. Sir, then you ejaculating in a napkin, in a sock, in your hand, in your homeboy's mouth is an issue. That's not cool, sir. All of those little black babies that you're unaliving on top of the atrocities that you commit on a daily to the community. So it seems like, yet again, you succeed in the most deplorable behavior ever. And I think that's interesting. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a girl.
If you ever get a chance, right? Like, and we keep talking to men, so you will get a chance. Anytime, like one of the things I really hate to see is when they say, "Oh, but y'all, the most dangerous place in the world is in the, black woman's womb," right? I want everybody to stop windmilling against that. Stop arguing. Stop pushing back. You just take a deep breath and you say, "Yeah, of course," because you're the father. And just leave it right there. Leave it right there. That's all you gotta say.
Wow. I'm gonna file that one away because I talk to these dudes a lot because I'm on Christina's live a lot where she talks about religion a lot, and I'm on my friend Kate's live a lot. So I encounter a lot of these dudes who say stuff like that, the Black G side, and it's the women who are whatever. I'm filing that one away and I'm gonna use it and I'll report back, Vanity, and I'll let you know what happens.
Let me know too. I want to know. I want to be in.
Oh, there'll be a post. There'll be a post about it. Absolutely.
Let me make sure I follow you on my backup page because I need to know.
So can y'all tell me what the spell, the sperm equivalent is to any of these cycles? Like the sperm in itself, where does it equate? On which one?
Nowhere.
Where's the sperm? Please help me out. Where do y'all see the sperm? Like, am I missing something? Cause I don't see sperm. I don't see sperm nowhere. Like,
I mean, I don't see a picture of pollen, but also that's carried by bees. So
they want to put that in a life cycle though, because that's not.
No, it's not exactly. No, I don't see anything. I say lots of ovum, like things, but no sperm. Interesting.
I see, eggs. I see chins. I see saplings. No sperm. Imagine that.
Oh, I see a seed. Are they trying to say the seed? Like, are they that seed right there for the tree?
Yeah, they think they're the seed, quote unquote.
But hold up, real quick, because that seed, hold up, because I see something. Why that seed is sprouting a plant? So it's sperm. Can a baby come from sperm alone? Because it looked like this plant is coming out of this seed without anything else. So the sperm is not a seed. I don't see the sperm more. I'm just saying this was just 8. It's a lot more. And on none of these life cycles have I ever seen the sperm there. Cause it's not fucking there. Cause the sperm can't do shit by itself. What the fuck is y'all talking about? The sperm is not present, sir. Because the sperm don't do shit but fertilize. You don't see them putting dirt in the fucking life cycle of the fucking tree. Because that would be stupid. So shut the fuck up. Y'all don't have, you not, seeds are not coming out of your shit. Like, come on, be for real. I'm just saying, I'm gonna put my little picture away, but I'm just
No,
saying.
keep it up. They may learn something by looking at the pictures since they can't read words.
Yeah, actually, yes, I agree, Prince, that this might be a much more useful thing because they do struggle with definitions, words, vocabulary, books, dictionaries, reputable sources, the internet. Yeah, they tend to struggle with that.
Yeah, so like, I hear that. So dirt, horse shit, like what else is equivalent to sperm? So horse shit might be sperm. Is that
Dog
equivalent?
poop. Like dog poop, pig poop.
So human waste. So waste. The sperm is fucking human waste. Is that what y'all saying? Like, are they saying human waste is equivalent to fucking creating life? Like, come on, be for real. I'm seeing a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. Okay. Anything that fertilizes. I got it. Cause the sperm, I just wanted to just say that there's no fucking nothing equivalent. Now, if you look at an egg that comes from a woman, oh, I see eggs up here. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles that got eggs? 5, 6, 7 that got eggs. The one that got a seed, them niggas claim this the seed, but the fucking plant is sprouting from the seed. So yeah, them niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. I just wanted everybody to see this because like sometimes we gotta go back to elementary to really get the point. And I know y'all get the point, but y'all know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And the whole "the egg is not alive" thing, like, whoa. Like, bro, like that's just some stupid ass shit.
So Prince, thanks for making that point. Plants being
You're
intersex.
welcome.
So yeah, that's why they can do shit in dirt. Cause like they don't need no fucking fertilizer. They do need the pollen. Okay, you got pollen, all right. Yeah, we get an egg is way more valuable than sperm. But this is I always like to make this point. If a man gave me a cup of his sperm, I could make a fucking baby. But if I give you my egg and put it in a cup, nigga, you can't do shit with it. You can't do nothing with it. Nothing at all. So you can put your little sperm in there, but it ain't shit gonna do nothing with some unalive cells in a cup. Just saying.
Plus, seeds and eggs can stay dormant for a very, very long time. Unlike, sperm cells, which will die in like a week or so, give or take.
Yeah, because when they swim into the egg, they fucking fighting for their life. Like, let's be for real. They fighting for their life.
And y'all know that's why I was having a conversation with one of my older coworkers because she's a YT lady, and she was telling me a story about her husband, like basically calling her fat, something like that, crazy, right? And her pushback was that he has a limp phallus, right? And the funny thing about that what made me think about it is like over all like years, decades, men try to like diminish the woman's organs, the woman's not one, I don't want to say woman, but because I don't want to offend nobody. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm gonna just go on with what I'm saying. Y'all know my heart. But they try to diminish the organs, right? The female organs. They try to diminish them and make it seem like it is like, oh, it's the egg is no big deal. The womb is no big deal. Like none of that matters. The vagina is no big deal. None of that shit matters, right? And it's crazy because it is so much more that women can do. It's a longevity there, right? And I'm not trying to be vulgar, but I want to make a point. Like, even when they try to make it seem like like this the term they talk about the box, like it dries out or it's not good, or our eggs are powder, all the derogatory things they say. The truth is that if their shit go limp, it ain't nothing you could do. Nothing. It's nothing. Because if they got a bad heart and they can't take the medicine, it's absolutely nothing. And I'm not even trying to even validate their false claims, because I know it's not true. I know the older women get the better. I know that. But even if you play into what they're talking about, there's nothing you can do with a limp phallus, sir. It's nothing. You can't do anything. You can't even do pleasure yourself. It's nothing you could do without having a pill where a little spit, lube, whatever you want to call it, it'll be fine. And I think that it's a reason why they do that. I think it's a reason why they put it in women's head that when you get a certain age and when you're no longer bearing, that you're not useful. It's because they're not useful. They're literally not useful. Literally. And I think it's a reason why they do that. It's a reason why they do that. And it's to fuck up the morale of the person who has those organs and have that or has a vagina. It's to fuck you up. It's to tear you down. It's to make you feel like you are inferior. It's to make you feel like you're not worth anything. And I think that's very interesting. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, because I had a little mishap, but I hope y'all get what I'm saying.
Everything's projection. I get what you're saying, Drika. Everything's projection with them. So it's like whatever they're accusing us of being or doing, it is what they are or are doing.
Yeah, so like the reason why they don't want to get old, because that mean they can't contribute to life no more. And they be like, oh, you old, but like, my understanding, even if you go through menopause, you still got your eggs, right? Like, do the eggs still exist? Like,
They still, I don't know if you actually ovulate all of them. You might not, so there might still be eggs there, and unless your ovaries are removed, they'll just stay there.
Yeah, I was
have
about
a
to say that.
question.
Thanks, Faith.
I do have a question in that aspect. So if you're on birth control and you're not having your period, do you still drop eggs, or are they just kind of nesting in your body and just waiting to
I'm
attack
not
you later?
sure. I think it depends on which
Depending on
pill.
your body, probably, yeah.
I think it depends on which pill too you take. I think if it's a progesterone only pill, maybe not. If it's the combo pill, maybe, because the progesterone only pill is usually the one that can make you not have periods for like a long time. Like a lot of women are like, I just don't get my period when I'm using it. And the whole way that birth control pills work is that they kind of like trick your body into thinking you're already pregnant. So like the mucus of the cervix thickens and the like some other things happen, even though there might be an egg present. Yeah, so I'm thinking that it might be different depending on which pill you take. But ask a gynecologist, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, and depending on how your body reacts to it. But she's right, though. Go to a gynecologist would be your best bet for that.
Hey, Charmaine.
Okay. So I think it's so cool
Hi,
that
my
there's
babies.
like...
I wanted to tell y'all I
like,
voted today.
Hi, Shame.
Hi, my babies. I voted today, y'all.
Ooh, woohoo. I voted on Wednesday. Awesome. It felt good, didn't it? Didn't it feel good?
Yeah, actually, it was really good to the point where I took the baby to get some candy afterwards. Everybody loved him at the voting booth. It was like, oh, look at the baby voter.
That's what's up. I love hearing that.
Yeah, they loved him being at the voting booth, and it was cute.
We love it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull hold up, cause we kind of, but I'm gonna keep the life cycle in hand because I got questions. But
I only laughed because my husband was listening. He goes, "You mean there are some?" He goes, "I mean, I understand the need to tell them this." He's like, "But man, don't it get exhausting having to talk to dumbass people all the time?"
Yes.
Will you tell him we all said yeah? Tell him we said yeah. As a matter of fact, tell him we all said hell yeah. Say on behalf of the entire group, we said hell yeah.
Yes. Tell Mr. KGR, I literally some days I feel like I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Like the level, it seems there's no floor to it. Like every time I feel like this clearly will be the dumbest thing I will ever hear in my life, 2 days later, someone tops it.
And it
Yo,
gets dumber and dumber by the conversation. Hi, Bree. We love you, baby.
hey, you guys. I just came up to Glaze Tara real quick because that was a masterpiece, Tara. She was like, "So tell me, where can we find our Messiah? Where can we where do we find you guys? Tell us all about you." And he was like, "Oh, we're basically playing video games, and you know, we people don't like us because we're smarter than everybody else, and every time we tell them, they get mad. They don't like nerds." And it's like, "Oh, really? So then, what is a Messiah?" And he was like, and then she was like, "Okay, well, tell me, what are you like? Do you consider a Messiah to be close to you?" Like, basically, are you narcissistic? And he was like, "Yeah, so basically, it was just hilarious. I cannot, bro." Like, you were like, honestly, all you gotta do is glaze them a little bit and they'll tell you everything. Not all of a sudden he started off being college educated and by the end he was working at a warehouse. Clock it, T. Clock it.
So
Tara
today,
was
today, so Saturday on Saturdays we've been having like these little conferences or meetings or whatever. We was talking about how like you just ask the questions and you like let them dig their own hole, and like sometimes it's hard because you be like this shit. Because when he said the Black Messiah, I wanted to be like, you stupid motherfucker, but I'm like, no. I mean,
I heard it, but Tara, you was dope as shit, bro. Like, honestly, we talk about psychology and just how it works and everything, but I just love to see a woman gaslight a nigga. It's my favorite pastime, bro. The way you ate him up before he even knew it, he was trapped, and that mouth breather was perfect. It was like, yes, this is what I needed on this good Saturday. Like, I loved it.
I need
Was
to
that a
learn how to do
dude
that
saying this?
better.
Hey, sis, was that a dude saying this?
Yeah.
He said he was the Black Messiah, or he said that Black women have to support Black men in order for us to get a Black Messiah who will lead us out of slavery. I have no idea.
same
Is
television
this
Yeah, and
that he
before?
also,
said
you
the
know what we learned,
Messiah.
Charmaine?
Okay,
We
my
learned
sister, is
that
this? Go ahead, go ahead, go
Yeah, I
ahead,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say real quick. We learned that the way to support this Messiah coming into his own is basically making him sandwiches. We need to rub his back. We need to clip those toenails. Basically, do all of the things to keep him alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, like, baby him, rock him, nurse him if needs be. You know. And it was just dope. I learned so much about how to usher in Black Jesus, and it was just I thank you so much, Sarah, for giving us that education, bro. Like, I learned so much about like how to be married, you know, in the Bible. You know, get impregnated, forced to keep it, and now we have to raise it all the way up into like its good 40s. You know what I'm saying? To reach its financial potential, because that's normally when the Messiah most likely will make it's like at least 60,000. Is that right? The average Black man. And I just that was invaluable, bro. Honestly.
Okay, so this is before or after we eat glass and jump in the river?
I think it's after. I think
Oh,
we
okay.
should do that first. We should all just jump, right? And then, you know what I mean, usher in Black Messiah. That's what I think.
Okay, so we gonna eat glass, jump in the river, and then support
Correct.
that. Okay, okay,
Correct. Okay.
okay. I
Watch
just
the
wanted to
Black
make sure
Messiah.
it was. I just wanted to make sure it was after, not before.
Watch the Black Messiah be a woman the whole time.
The whole time.
Like
Of
it was a
course,
black
clock
woman
it.
the
It
whole
will be.
time.
It will be.
Well, he said it had to be a man because God said so, but he couldn't say why God said it.
Yeah, I guess God hasn't
Say
downloaded the new
all
like.
species. Remember, he said all species of are man led, and then he said what I meant was all species of human man.
Yeah, that's what he
Sorry, is there
said.
another species of human being we don't know about?
Oh my God, that dude is so. That dude is so smart, y'all. We should give him a Nobel Peace Prize.
He going on the YouTube, that's for sure.
He also said he went to like was it North Carolina AMT
I know
or
he
something
fucking
like
lying.
that. Yeah, I'm like you need to go and get your money back because okay.
Obviously skipped, bio 100. Like he skipped his 100 levels of biology. Like that was
The FBI canceled all its classes at the last minute.
because he was the Messiah, Tara.
No, but what was funny was KGR. Like KGR came off
It was
mute
the
and was
second
like,
coming of
"What did
Fred
she say, y'all?"
Hampton.
KGR said, "Well, actually, the next Messiah will be the Antichrist, but I'm not going to get into that." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I'm just saying, God basically said it has to be a man." And I'm like, "Bro, how did that go over your head, you dummy? That was so cute." Honestly, I think men will be cuter if they weren't so dangerous. They're like babies, like literally babies. They're just babies that have like a social security number that they remember, and like they're babies that can like get car loans in your name. You know what I'm saying? Like they're babies who are big enough to punch you. But honestly, if you took all the danger away, it'll be so funny listening. Like he was like, I'm just saying, basically, so how you get these men to like reach their full potential is you basically have to be their mom. You gotta like help them. I mean, bro, what I'm
I don't
I
know
thought that was
about
so
him, but
cute.
if I gotta be somebody's mama, they gonna have to, they mother and father gonna have to give me all kinds of child support and some type of benefits. Like, yeah, nah, like they crazy
But
with that.
oh my bad, go ahead, Sherman.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to weigh in on the conversation that we're having about like sperm. Okay, let me tell y'all what I think. I think that men's contribution to like human life, biologically speaking, is literally spit. It's just too easy to spit in a hole. And not only is it easy, it's enjoyable. So I think that the reason why men have low respect for life is because A, it's easy to create it for them. And then secondly, it makes them easier to take it away. This is the reason why they're the most violent. And this is why I say all the time women need to be in charge, because as women we make the biggest contribution to life. It costs us our life, really. It costs us our body. We make the biggest investment into life. So it should be us that decides how and what development this that life needs to be in, if that makes sense what I'm saying. But I really just think it's just because it's too easy for them to make it that they are too comfortable with taking it out. That's why they're so big on war and using cancer as a way to get rich, things like that. But yeah, it's because their contributions are too simple, and it means that they put very little investment into life. So like again, it's just easier for them to snuff it out.
Okay, Bree, don't you think you meant to say no investment into life? Because
Facts. That's
I'm
what I
just
meant to
saying.
say.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, no investment. I mean, you can even put the spit in a cup and do a whole bunch of genetic insertion, and that's about it. So, I mean, you meant no investment because everything that everything that comes with children, even from childbirth to the time that they grow up and get out the house and do their own thing, like all of that is us. To be honest, everything is us. So you meant no investment. And if you get one that actually do does put in some type of effort, that'll be a blessing. But I doubt it because some of them even some of them even with marriage ends up making married single mothers. So it's like at this point you might as well just say we are all the investment.
It's like
And
if you put work into something, you'll appreciate it more versus if you get it so easily, like you maybe won't. I think that definitely tracks.
So I wanted to.
Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna say goodnight. It was nice talking to y'all, and it was just nice to have a palate cleanser from earlier today. So the next time I get on a live, there's some space in between what I've been through the last couple days, which has just been, whew, Jesus. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye
nice.
bye.
I wanted to
Good
take that
night.
last point about when you work for something or whatever. I don't know if y'all didn't, like we still on the topic, but the fact that like if you have it easy, right? If it's only easy for you, like how are you actually supposed to like gain like real skills? How are you supposed to actually like how can you be the authority or something? 'Cause, like, we learn about in our history books, right? We learn about, like, the kings that became kings in relation or whatever. But, like, if you got everything handed to you, how are you fit to be in that position? I don't know, but
Yeah,
Now,
that's true. And honestly, when you track that all the way down to like how men um, evaluate the quality of life, like that's huge because so many of them believe in suffering. Like that's masculinity, like being able to endure like pain, and that is the way to feel alive. That is the way to maintain masculinity, is enduring needless pain. You see it in sports, you see it in politics, you see it in all of it, right? And so I feel like the reason why that is because they shoot from.
damn, she was saying what I was what I was about to say.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry,
you
I went on
finish.
mute. Yeah. So yeah, it's I don't know which part I dropped on, but basically that's the reason why there's a straight shot between life and unaliving for them. Like in other words, you hear a lot of men saying that women pay attention to the details and men just basically go, like they shoot and then they don't make decisions until shit hits the fan. It's because the in between for them is not important. It's the extremes. And when it like for instance when we're talking about like tolerable, what is that phrase, tolerable amounts of unhappiness or tolerable level of unhappiness, whatever, permanent, whatever, that right there is the crux of why they don't care about like a person living a posh easy life, especially women. It's because they don't, if it's in between life and death, it doesn't matter. Are we all going to unalive? Yes or no? That's all they care about. And I think it's again, it comes down to just how simple, because of their contribution or the lack thereof to life, they don't actually like. Okay, I'm gonna just say this and then I'm gonna shut up. When you think about grape, like a child being conceived in grape, when you think about all the research that's coming up about how like children are born with defects and personality disorders and all of that because of the state of the mind of the man when he was when a child is conceived. So like basically in the moment of his ejaculation, there's like DNA that's thrown into it based off of his state of mind. This is the research now. And so when you think about that, but then you also think about a child being conceived in grape. If you cared about life in general, you would not want that. Like, can we just be honest? How many autoimmune diseases come as a result of that? How many like mental disorders and all kinds of different defects, birth defects, come as a result of that? Why would you, if you cared about life in itself, you would never want to? You get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say? Like, you wouldn't want to elevate that. You wouldn't want to protect that. That's something you would want to say. Okay, this is not good for humanity itself. You get what I'm saying? But they don't care about life at all. Period.
because they never.
hold on, Charmaine. Go ahead, Mia.
Yeah. Bree was pretty much making the point that I was gonna make. When it comes to how men view life and their need to, for them to be a man, there needs to be like some pain that happens. And I think that's why they would never think about her last point, which is like conceiving a child through grape. They don't care, because they don't care about the child or the mother. Because with that being said, a lot of grape that happens is marital grape. So of course they don't care. Like they're literally graping their wives, and then now they have their third, fourth, fifth child, right? But I always say that men operate under this humiliation and being humiliated as a way to comply to things or to do certain things. So I definitely just agree. Like she just basically made the point, and it's across all men, like no matter the race, it's all of them. And I just think that it's interesting that they operate with that, but that's why they try to inflict it so much. They feel like they do better when they're yelled at, and if you think about sports, they think that being cursed out and told to run and sprint and all of that, makes them better. So they believe if they, do that to everybody else, it will make them better. It makes them comply. It makes them listen. That's why they are really big on shaming women. That's why they're really big on shaming their children. That is why you have the honor unalivings. I mean, we can go on and on and on. It's just across all cultures and races of men. So I just thought that brought it back to the prompt, that aspect of it. So yeah.
And I
Go ahead.
also wanted to like,
Hold on, Charmaine wanted to say something. You can go, Shawnee.
I was gonna say about I was gonna say I don't know if y'all felt this, but I have. It's like a controlment of power. And what I mean by controlment of power, it's like these men, most you might as well say all, because all of them got that same mindset. And if you ever notice how a lot of them know that they read the two main books, which is The Art of War and the 48 Laws of Power. So if y'all notice how all of them read the same books and the same mindset, it's because they feel like that they try to make it seem like they dumb, but they not dumb. That they know we know that they are doing this for the possession of power. And they feel like they have that power. So to them, knowing that now we're taking that power back type of situation, it's making them feel a little bit like they need to crash out because that power is being taken from them. They don't like the fact that women are now at the point where we now see them for what they are, if you get what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Shawnee.
oh, I just wanted to quickly point out like what Bree and Mia was saying. This is why I view it as a red flag when people glamorize and romanticize relationships from back in the day, because a lot of those were like rooted in like essay culture, and with marital essay being legal back in the day, like y'all be sitting here glamorizing like your grandma having like 20 kids, but y'all don't really be doing like a deep dive and really asking like, knowing what you know about being legal back in the day, it's like, do you really think your grandmother or your mom wanted to have, do you really think all 20 of those kids that she had were conceived through like consensual relations? Knowing that what you know about like marital SA being legal. So that's why I even side eye people who glamorize those type of relationships, because like you're basically you're basically saying like SA culture is okay, and you're okay with children being conceived through that manner. So yeah, overall it's like it's very problematic to me. But that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. I agree. And yeah, I think who put that in the chat? That the Charmaine, we talked about even the power that they try to claim or whatever is not. I was challenging. We was challenging whether that's actual power or some shit they made up.
It is
Um,
it is what they made up. It's their delusion. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Um, go ahead, Dominic. Okay.
I was gonna ask you, man. I'm sorry, we go dry. What did you say the power is exactly?
Their delusion, that's the power. Their delusion that they have the power and control over everything and everyone, especially women. If you ever notice if you ever notice how half of them always talking about their mentors and how they're always coaches or they're always some type of form of military generals and shit like that, it's them thinking that they have the power and control over how people think, speak, act, and whatever. Even when it comes down to the great culture, 'cause this great culture is the same thing. It's all aligned in the delusion of power and control, of them feeling like they have the mastery to control somebody's essence or human being of self. It's a real douchebag delusion, but yeah, it's like it's like they minds really think that, oh yeah, well, if I do this to this young girl, now I have the power to control how she thinks and feels now. Or if I sit here and I go and do this job as a coach and I tell them how to think and speak, I now have the power to control them in the way that I want them to maneuver. It's a whole bunch of
But
delusions going
I
on
wanna
there.
say this. I want to say this. As long as they have women under control, they do have the power. That's what it is. That's why these lies are so important. Because when women wake up and they're able to take their power, of course that disables them. But it's true. As long as patriarchy, I mean, you have to think about it. Think about the fact, like what I just talked about like how men's genes, most of them don't need, should not have been passed on, right? But it was because women were not able to choose their mates, so women weren't able to do what we naturally do, which is, I hate to use the word, but epi, Jenny Jen, you feel me? Basically, where women say, okay, I won't mate with him and further his bloodline because he's mentally weak, or because he's physically weak, or because whatever, whatever. And so, because women didn't have that power, a lot of these genes that should have not been passed on have. But the reality of it is, as long as they have women over control over women, they do have control over life itself. They do. You get what I'm saying? Like if they continue, like okay, if let's just say this man is left-handed and he feels like more people need to be left-handed, all he has to do is get like over 200 women pregnant. And I'm not saying that that's the case, that being left-handed is a genetic thing. I'm just saying use that example,
Yeah,
right?
I know
So
the
if
delusion.
you see what I'm saying, but it's not delusional though. That's the sad part, and that's the part that women need to wake up to, because it's not delusional if they have the power to do so by forcing women to adhere to their standards and their values. Then women will give their power away of choosing who should be genetically passed on or not. And so that's what I'm trying to say. It's not delusional. And I feel like as women wake up, it becomes delusional because it won't be real anymore. But for right now, it's not delusional. Like it
I
is what
get
it
what you're
is.
saying. It's to the ones who are subjective to it. It's not delusion. I get you.
Exactly.
Here was my question earlier, right? Because we were talking about how like when it comes to like I was just talking about being miserable, or like when it comes to self unaliving, when it comes to like substance abuse, when it comes to like risk taking behavior, when it comes to like the displays of like depression and things like that. Even when men have power, quote unquote, and access to resources and everything, they still struggle, right? They struggle being that powerful, I guess, person in that situation. Why do y'all think that is? Because
Can you
if
repeat
you
the
have
question?
power, you're supposed to be unstoppable, right? Like if I have power, like, I have all the fucking power. I should be elated. I should be like euphoric consistently. Why would I then be have to? Why would I struggle with those situations, those feelings, if I'm powerful?
Again, they're delusional because they're
Now,
really.
I understand that point, but I was because Bree was talking about how men have powerful over women, and it's like, okay, if men feel powerful because they control the women, then why are they still miserable?
Oh, because we can't
Oh.
be harnessed. Like women cannot honestly be harnessed. I mean, because the reality of it is, life is just way more complicated than to say, oh, I have it all under control. The reality of it is, there are just too many variables that only a woman can understand for them to control. Like, you know how they say all the time, we don't need to know women to control them. And women who know that that can't be the case, because in order for you to properly like restrict me, you have to know all the ways I can get out, right? But if you don't know enough about me, you can't really honestly hold on to me. And I feel like that's like, I hate to use the word femininity because I don't believe in it, but that's basically what femininity is. They don't know enough. So that's why it's not working for them. That's what they're trying to do. But again, they do have a level of power just because of the patriarchy. The reality of it is, women have been brought up to center men, and in them centering men, they decenter themselves. This is why a lot of women get into relationships they're not happy in, because they were told that it's not you that should be deciding what happiness is. It should be, how happy are you in proximity to a man, right? And so that's the reason why women are falling into relationships and furthering lines that they shouldn't. Is because we have been taught through the patriarchy, and that's the power. The power they took was in the mind. You get what I'm saying, Tara? I hope I'm explaining it right.
No, I got it. Um,
Okay.
I'm losing it, y'all. Did anybody want to say anything?
I just wanted to add something else to my main observation with the prompt. And I think this could be a difference between like black men and white tea men. Is that white tea men understand their part of the contract that they made with black men, and black men are trying to weasel their way out of it, if that makes sense.
Like, give us an example.
Like, when I think about it, and this is just where my mind goes, I can't help but go backwards to the past. Like, when they first started, selling us off and things like that. It's like the white tea man had a better understanding of the power that is women, especially the power that is women that came from the African continent. So they were better able to manipulate the black man's complacency and their comfortability within their patriarchy is to be like, hey, this resource that you have isn't as useful as you think it is, so why don't we trade it in for something else? Like, pew-pews, alcohol, and other textiles, right? And I'm trying to gather my thought with this real quick. So I think that's the difference, is that the white tea man understands to an extent like the power that is the woman or the black woman in that aspect, whereas the black man kind of was like complacent with this power of black women and just didn't understand it and gave it away willingly. And now they're trying to backtrack on it. I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, because it's like, that's why I said it's like we have the world we live in, that is nature, right? Mother Nature, to be specific. And then we have this artificial patriarchy that we live in, right? And it's like the contract between the men in this artificial system is essentially like we're the ones, we have power, y'all here, but it's like this is the place you're in, and it's like how black men be like, well, they feel like to elevate they have to have access to YT women. But it's interesting because I agree, and also is the thing where um I feel like they think black women are always going to be there at the end of the day. Like I can go play, I can go do what I want, because at the end of the day, and we see that sometimes, like what's that man name? The one who married the Asian woman, and then afterwards he went to what's her name, Nia Long or whatever. Like they go and they play around, and if they get hurt, they come back, and it's like, oh no, it's all good. Somebody come, black women like get rally around them or whatever. And I think now the part that scares them is that that's no longer the case, because they're women, black women were like, no, we're done. Like, so it's like, I'm trying to neg you, I'm trying to humble you by saying, oh, there are other women, I'll go to another. Because before it was like, well, I can go to find me a YT woman. And then it's like, oh, I can go overseas. Even AI, these niggas threatened us with AI before. Like, they making AI girlfriends. Like, anything to make us feel like, oh, look, I can leave you or whatever. And then we would just be like, all right, then go ahead. And I think that's that spiraling shit. But they love to come. Yeah, Jeezy, thank you. They love to say how I lost it. I was about to say something. Fucking lost it. Damn. Um, yeah, the triangulation is crazy. Hey, Ruthie.
Man, I feel like I ain't talked to y'all since the Obama administration. How you lovely ladies doing?
We've been up here every day.
Hey, Miss
Shut
Raphelia.
up, okay?
We
You
here
shut your
every
mouth.
single day, Ruthie.
Let me be emotional and be extra.
Yeah, well, you got it. Go ahead.
I came back up because I got kicked. But hey, Ruthie, I ain't seen
Oh, I
you.
just want to say hi. Like, damn, I missed you. Golly, dang.
Now we wonder where the hell you been at.
Is somebody peeing?
Girl, I'm in the shower. I'm about to go see a man about a horse. Okay, excuse me. That's where I've been at. I've been playing house, child, having me the time.
We love it. I gotta sneeze. Shout out to seeing a man about a horse. I do that from time to time. But why, Tara, why you kick me out? What happened?
Oh my God. I didn't kick nobody out. Why is it always a problem, miss?
Because I'm a
We
problem.
all know your internet connection. I don't know what country you are located in, but the infrastructure is struggling over there. Don't come for me.
Damn, don't do that. I'm just checking because I heard you say I was about to come back up, but then I was like, damn, she's talking about she losing it. Losing what?
I be getting tired. Now I'm gaslighting. I be
Thank
But
you,
it's
getting
8
Chanel.
o'clock. It's Saturday.
It ain't 8 o'clock.
Well, with 3 minutes till, might as well be 8.
That's
Eastern
child.
Standard Time, of course.
I don't know nothing about that.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? I just came up. I know Tara said she want to end it. Just came up to say, hey, Ruthie. Hey,
Yes.
Sean. Hey, Prince. Hey, Kendrick. Hey, me. Hey, Tara.
Hey, Miss Emma.
You back. You back like you know.
Nah, but
I
I don't took like 3 mini naps. Like
I
I
think I'm going to go live and dance later if y'all want to dance. Who want to shake that groove thing?
damn. So
Huh?
like what type of Negro spirituals or what?
We could do some Latin dance. We could do some Caribbean stuff. We could do some twerking. We could do some belly dance. Whatever I feel like after I take a bath.
not you recruiting black women to twerk on the internet.
You gonna get us?
Absolutely. I'm the twerk recruiter. Come shake your thing. Come release some energy. Come move your hips.
You gonna get us
I think
canceled?
I did enough movement today.
What'd you
Nah,
do?
you trying to get us
Oh,
canceled?
we had a mock meet for the powerlifting club. So I think I placed third out of the women's, so I'm pretty proud of myself, but I did enough movement today.
Woohoo! Congratulations. That's awesome.
I wanted to say something real quick to this topic. And yeah, Summer, just send the call. You know what to do. But I think this prompt was, of course, I love the prompt, right? I think it's interesting seeing the few ops that we had today. I thought it was interesting, like the way they went about this prompt. Even when we think of like the initial with Tansy, it was just interesting, and I think the biggest what made having these conversations so crucial and important is the information we gather from them, right? And it's like, for me, it's like being validated, but it's also just like some of the new information that I've gotten, and like hearing so many different opinions and hearing people express their perspective just has given me like the words that, like, you know how you be thinking something but you just can't fully articulate it. And I think that has happened for me specifically. But I just think it's interesting with that last guy, him really, the Messiah thing just sticks with me because I think it's the combination. It's like Tansy coming up here, like she is the spiritual, this fucking mammy caricature, like the whole thing, and her name being empirical is interesting, and like the backgrounds that she chooses and the picture that she chose is all telling. And then you have this guy come up talking about he the Messiah. I just think it's not lost on me, and that's where that Pan-African queen and king shit come from, and all that weird shit. It's just, I don't know. I just find it entertaining and interesting, and that's why I appreciate the opportunity to speak my piece about this, because I mean, you can't make this shit up, y'all. You literally cannot make this shit up. Like, the jokes write themselves.
They be serious. They be like, "Oh, I'm royalty." You royalty, but you living in somebody's house. You royalty, but you making minimum wage. Like, no, you in the same boat as everybody else. Shut the hell up with that royalty shit. They want that shit so bad. That's the cosplaying right there, Mia. That's the cosplaying.
It is. Yep. Sure is. Cosplay 101.
What's up?
Those are usually the main ones who are like really super hell bent on upholding patriarchy, because they feel they're the main ones that always feel like they got something to prove because of their lack of social standing in society.
They live in an alternate reality in their fucking head. What's up, Allie?
We was kings, y'all. We was kings.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
When they made Jonathan Majors King the Conqueror, whatever.
The Conqueror.
I feel like low key that's some shade, right? I will allow it. Where Ellie?
I came up to answer the prompt, but I wanted to ask the host, what did you mean by this prompt?
Why you coming all late? You came in late. Hold up, because no, because yesterday,
Y'all feminists.
somebody mute her mic. Somebody mute her mic, because yesterday, Allie extra ass was Allie gonna go yesterday. I don't know where nobody at. Y'all ain't nowhere to be found. But like, where the fuck she be at? Where the fuck Allie be at? Allie went a whole, what was that? Thursday, you was handling, but then you know where you was at. We was off the line for 2 hours. You act like you couldn't survive for 2 hours, and then we've been in this bitch for hours. You ain't been nowhere to be found.
Y'all, I swear to God, I was so upset. So my mom was supposed to come over to watch my daughter. I was gonna go out and have me a good old time by myself. You had just went on live, Tara. I was like, "Ooh, good. She can entertain me while I go inside the student library to knock this homework out." Then my mom was like, "I want to go out to eat with y'all," and I was in the live, but I couldn't hear shit. I was like. So I was talking to her, and I'm looking at the comments. Occasionally, I'll hear KGR and Mia eat somebody up, but I really couldn't get into it, you know? So I'm trying to catch up to speed what I missed. I'm sorry.
You want to subscribe to the YouTube's Allie.
Not me having to go back on the back end and watch. Boring. What I miss?
That's what I do. It kind of helps me get through my homework.
Well, why I didn't know there was a YouTube? That's how lost I am. What?
She got a YouTube. I guess I go and support over there. We finna all merge over there anyway, but you know. You see, Tara been doing me wrong for the last 2 days, but she's been the main supporter, so I can't really be too mad. That's why I'll never let her go, ever. Y'all could never make me hate her. Never. She's never getting rid of me.
Allie said, I like you. I don't care what they say about you.
I don't care. Y'all ain't gonna never, Tara never gonna get rid of me. Not me. Not I, said the cat.
No, me, I want to add to it because I've been a fan of Tara so long. Like, I don't want to be weird like them, like these Negroes be on here, so I ain't gonna, be weird. But, again, I'm unpacking my weird shit. I want to be problematic, but I ain't. The point I'm making is I've been a fan of Tara so long. Like, I can remember the first time I seen her in a panel. I can remember let me shut up. I just love Tara. I love everything she do. I love how she move, how she talk, how she eat, how she drink.
I love how she eat be really getting to me. You right, Mia.
when I hear the crunch, I be like, yes, Tara, yes.
Yep. I be like, that's it. And you know what? Like the fact that I like can talk to her, when I want, and like I can be on her panels, like it just make like you know what? I'm the queen. No, I ain't the queen. I'm royalty because I know Tara. Like I'm in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like God led me to her, and ever since I've been with her, and I know it's divine intervention. I know what I know, and I know what I know is right. Y'all feel me? That's what it is.
I don't know she don't like this, but it's true and it's real, and she gonna have to hear it that we all love Tara, and that's it.
She do like it. I'm just waiting for her to do another crunch. That just solidified for
I
me.
appreciate the appreciation. I love y'all. I love y'all showing up because like I couldn't do it on my own. That's for damn sure. Because I took naps today and y'all was doing the damn thing. So shout out to all of us. But I had my bell pepper, Ellie. You missed that too. Just saying.
I need the ASMR. I want a sound bite of Tara eating, a sound bite of her cursing somebody out, and a sound bite of her laughing. Yeah, I pay for it.
Can you also, this is just, a subscriber request. Could you include like the bell pepper crunch into like one of the Laws of Power videos? Like it gotta like, mix. That's gonna really do it for me. If I could like a video more than once, it would be a video like that.
I hope everybody get bell peppers. Bell peppers is shit. I love bell peppers. And it
They
got
are so yummy.
y'all
I
know what
hear
that
over
is.
there crying. Y'all, she over there crying. We made her cry tears of joy.
I'm crying. Oh my god, y'all. Thank you so much.
I hear it. She be as fuck, but not all that.
See, this is why I love my Baltimore people.
Not the
Why
devaluation
I
coming
love my
to her
Baltimore people.
but not the devaluation. I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. I'm joking.
What's funny when they come up and they be like, where's she from? Wait, you must be from. Shut up. Just take your tongue lashing.
Doesn't matter where she's from. Don't worry about it.
And just so y'all know, if y'all wasn't on the back end, we've been at this a lot longer than we've been on the live. I think I started since like 10 a.m. or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Saturdays, my Discord is what it is. I'm not working on shit. I'm not fixing shit up. If you want to come over there and do some things, let me know. But like it is what it is. But we was in a Discord for a few hours today talking about like basically like what we've been clocking, ways that we can move further with like getting certain information. Today I was demure and I was able to hold back. Shout out to me, and I got to cuss that nigga out. So like you can be a little bit of both. I appreciate that. So if y'all the whole purpose always is to clock bullshit. So if y'all want to come learn how to clock bullshit so you can clock bullshit in your life, feel free to come over, join the conversation. But don't come over there with no bullshit because we're gonna clock your bullshit too, and that should be okay. But that's it.
See, I was trying to get in there after the meet was over, but it said access denied. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Oh well.
That's what it is.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I ain't about to go fix shit. I'm just letting you know. I don't know why I did that. Sorry that happened, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I'll be back
I
next
think you
week.
can turn that off. I just got to figure out that two-factor whatever it's called. I
I'm
think
gonna
you
be
can turn
honest.
that off.
I like it though. Y'all need to get your shit. I don't know y'all. I don't know you motherfuckers. Y'all need to authenticate your fucking account. I don't know. We not
She
removing
said
that.
create your pass key,
Yeah,
otherwise your ass
but
can't get in.
yeah, because my shit just out in the opening. Anybody could join my shit. No, you need to get your. No, we not turning shit off. Get your shit. Who are you? Verify that shit. I'm sorry. That's. I'm not changing it. If you're a mod,
Oh, see, it didn't even give me that though. So I was like, when I clicked on it, it just said to your main Discord, it just said access denied. So I had to go through the browser and it kind of let me in, but it said you need to do this. Whenever I went to do that, it just wouldn't do it. So I'm like, this is
like I said,
weird.
I don't know why. That's gonna be your struggle to realize. But if you want to let the group know what happened when you figure it out, then feel free. I don't know what that is. I be tired.
But I'm gonna let you go.
Tell your mama we said hello.
Oh, she left already, but I'll let her know. She saw me looking at your live, but she knew I couldn't hear because she was talking my ears off, which I didn't mind.
It's good quality time. I love it.
Yeah, we're starting anew, so we're starting kind of slow but steady. So I had to dedicate some time today to that, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Hoping for the best, but I know that could be difficult. We'll talk on the back end about that.
Yeah, you know how it go.
Yeah.
You looking forward to the back end conversations now.
I know. I love the back end conversations, especially because I know people be messy and they be wanting to be in on the back end conversation. I already got access, and they got access denied. I love that for us.
Could be myself. I could be myself on the back end. I be lying to y'all niggas on the front end because fuck y'all.
Man, it feels so good to know, like, just the details, the ins and outs. I feel so good. Oh, and I also wanted to say, just like a little hack, if y'all ever want to like enjoy your time putting your makeup on before you go out, listen to a Tara or a Lynn live or a Shan live, like one of those lives. Like I live for it. Yesterday I was doing just something simple, nothing too much. And I really enjoyed myself. Like usually you put on like music. I be listening to y'all in the shower, cussing these fools out. Like it's really like it does something to my soul. Like something in my spirit settles when I hear y'all talk. So I don't even put no music on no more.
Yeah, I
Me
love it.
either.
Hold
We
on, real
barely
quick,
watch
Sarah.
TV. Me either.
Sarah, my Discord and my link tree. You got if you click on my bio and go to link tree is there. That's why I say I'm leaving the two-factor authentication. Y'all know the word on because my shit just sitting there, and I don't want to have to go through and do all the security stuff. So, just saying. All right, who's about to say something? Or we done?
We ready.
I'm done.
Dark Horse said, "Is we having a back end conversation after this?"
Of course, I was all prepared to talk about what you wanted to talk about. I had slides and everything. You didn't show up. So I was like, we gotta wait till next Saturday. But just saying, just put that out there. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for coming by. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Y'all know I'm a single mother out here. I'm trying to stay single. Y'all know the drill. So we doing this shit for pennies. So support the live. Come join the back end. That's it. Thanks for coming. Ruthie, it's good to see you. Don't be a stranger, Ruthie. Your last video was funny as shit. I love the acapella.
Thank you. They be cutting the music off at 1 minute, and I need it to be over 1 minute so I can get that money.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. I was like, what the fuck? I was in the middle of putting my little comment. So yeah, if y'all see anybody y'all know and y'all support them, if you see them on your thank you for the gift. If you see them on the FYP, like that shit, save that shit, repost it. Dark Horse made the point, don't like it right away. Let it play for a little bit and then like it. And also at comment, like open-ended comments, because the engagement is important and we gotta support each other. So like I make sure I do that. Just saying that's what we should all do. But bye y'all. I'm out. I ain't about to ramble. Peace out.